Welcome in. We're just going to go ahead and hold this here for a moment. Not sure how that happened. Microphone completely ripped off. So welcome in, guys. Happy little Wednesday here. The firm of Harris and Marang. Patrick Harris with you. That's Danny Marang to my left.
All right. Does it screw in there? Or
Yeah, it does. I'll get it in the commercial break.
All right. You're just gonna hold it like the OG style.
What up?
We're now tuned in to 105.1 The Fan.
Well, I do watch a lot of football, and those guys in England, they always hold the microphones like this.
Oh yeah,
They're like Soboslai to Salah, and it scores, and it's a goal.
Yeah, the Wrexham doc. You always see the guy right there. He sits there and holds the mic the whole time, and I'm like, you've got a table and a stand, dog.
Yeah, Arlo White, he is
the GOAT, by the way.
He is the guy on Ted Lasso. If you've seen Ted Lasso, he's the play-by-play commentator.
I hate that his voice is that good.
His voice is so...
It's flawless.
His voice is so good. I think he does Chicago Fire in the MLS now. I love Arlo White because he's really good at his job. Do you know what his birthday is? June 2nd.
Oh, yeah?
He's a birthday buddy of mine.
There you go.
He's a birthday buddy of mine. Yeah, so we'll just kind of hold it here. It feels kind of weird.
I think Sprague set you up.
I'm sure this is a long time coming.
You do the thing, like back and forth with it. Oh no.
I do the thing. I think it's broken.
You're broken.
I think it's broken.
Oh no.
Oh no. You know what that means? Someone's gonna be real mad at me today.
Ooh.
Oh no. Oh no.
Someone might be angry.
Oh no. I didn't do anything. I just pulled it towards me and it came off.
Well,
that's what she said.
Mama always tell you, don't pull on it.
I had the strangest dream last night. Well, it's not really a strange dream, but I had a work dream last night, but not about this job. I had a work dream about I was still working at 10 Barrel up the road there in the Pearl, and I had to go there for a job that wasn't working there. Like, I didn't work for them, but I worked for somebody that I had to go there and do something that was like construction engineering based. Okay, super weird dream. But at the end...
Something I would never associate you with.
Never. But at the end, my old boss is in my dream and she says to me, "Hey, I'm so glad you're here. Can you help us run some food?" And I was like, okay. And I had no idea what the menu was and I didn't know where any tables were. So it's that classic like work nightmare dream, all right? Anyway.
Your guys' dreams are a lot weirder than mine.
Not a very cool dream, not a very cool story. Until I woke up this morning at 6:30 and I leaned over to check what time it was. It was like 6:26 or something like that. And I noticed that I had a missed phone call and a voicemail. And it was from the security system telling me that the alarm had gone off at 10 Barrel and I needed to call them back to ensure that everything was okay there.
You're still on the alarm call list, huh?
Yes. So I had to get off the alarm call list. But Danny, I did not see that. I just happened to have a dream about my old job and somebody called me about my old job in the middle of the night.
Or you did like roll over and see that.
I don't think so, man. I don't think so because I was out cold all night. I went to bed at like 10:30. I didn't drink yesterday. I got great sleep. Did not wake up in the middle of the night.
Well, maybe that's probably your problem is that you were with the bed sober.
You know, it's just challenges in the world, you know. Someone's got to hold it down here. Literally. Hold it down.
Well, hold it up at least.
Hold it up.
I'm going to laugh and you have to hold that the rest of the show.
My arm's getting tired.
Did you just fly in?
What does that mean?
Boy, are my arms tired.
Did I just fly in?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? The old joke?
No, I don't know.
I just flew into town and boy, are my arms tired.
That's a good one.
Oh my God. You've never heard that before?
No, but I'm going to drop that on my kids tonight.
Oh God. That's like...
I got to fly to Baltimore tomorrow and I got to rest up my arms.
Yeah. It's a long flight, man. We ain't flying south for the winter.
They're going to look at me like, I don't get it. What do you have to do on the plane? Dude, that's what's tough about a lot of those jokes, man. Dude, they go over today's heads. They just do because they don't understand. So like, what do you mean? You'd be on an airplane. Plus, my kids are definitely at the age of being super literal.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there was a flood warning, okay, for Monday at 4 o'clock. There could be a flood warning. And my 10-year-old looks at me and she goes, "Well, I'm really worried about this." And I was like, "Well, why are you worried, girl? There's nothing to be worried about. Like, if it flooded, where we live a little higher up, so it probably would take a, like, biblical flood to get to us." And she was like, "Well, 4 o'clock is just when I go to gymnastics, and I don't want the flood to get in my way." And I was like, "Girl, the flood ain't gonna get in your way at all. Like, at all. But she's like, well, you never know.
Mm.
Because it's like literally called Wyoming.
Literally.
Yeah.
Not literally.
I have to be very careful with what I say to them these days. It's that age. 2 years ago, could have said anything. They might have got the bird joke,
Yeah.
the flying joke. And now it's like,
Wait,
well,
what?
you're not flying the plane. Do your arms hurt on the steering wheel? It's like, no. What?
I was just
You look
thinking,
mischievous.
No. I was just thinking of yesterday. I heard somebody. I heard a story between a mother and son about the things that she used to tell him when he was younger, and it was.
You
just,
talking to my mama?
It was quite funny in the sense of like the things that you tell children just to mess with them.
Oh yeah. I mean, because
And I was the idea of like that could be very funny, or that could be therapy in 10 years.
I try really hard not to just do the because I said so
Ooh,
kind of thing with my kids. You know,
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking like
I know.
I'm talking like more like off the beaten path, having fun with them.
So then I will constantly have fun with them. And we are worried that me and the middle girl, the 10-year-old, that she is kind of like, that guy's an idiot. Because I say funny things and giggle, and she's like, that's not funny. And I'm worried that maybe some of those little white lies will come back to bite me of just trying to mess with her.
Any like mildly trauma-inducing things?
I don't think so. I mean, my kids live with me, so they're probably already
Not like
traumatized.
gaslighting them, but like moving stuff around in their bedroom.
No, I don't do that. Although I did have some friends stay with us this weekend, and they got the oldest's bedroom, and she was very worried about
where things would be.
No, about what adults were doing in her bed.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's tough.
I don't know if they knocked boots, but I hope they did.
Even if they
That's
didn't,
traumatizing.
even if they didn't, they did.
Yeah. I've never met these people. I don't know who they are, and somebody has had sex in my bed. She doesn't know that bed used to be mine, so.
Oh, definitely tell her that.
No, I won't tell her that.
Definitely
That would
tell her
traumatize her.
Hope she's listening right now.
She's not. She's in school, Danny, because she's 13 years old.
Hey man, we stream. We're available wherever you get streaming, or watch on YouTube.
I used to listen to Pandora Radio all the time in middle school.
Although, that was a dated reference.
Yeah,
right
I was saying
there.
Pandora. I was
wow.
What did that exist for 4 years?
No, Pandora's still a thing.
Is it still going?
Pandora, yeah, it's because it's
Technically.
It's a cheaper streaming service for restaurants and bars than like
Okay.
Spotify.
Gotcha.
Because Spotify you can curate to where Pandora lives in the algorithm.
Gotcha.
So it's cheaper to let the algorithm tell you what to listen to than you choose
Does
yourself.
Tidal still exist?
TIDAL?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tidal
That
still
was
exists.
Jay-Z and Kanye, right?
I think
Yeah.
it still exists.
They tried to make it a whole thing where like they were only going to exclusively release their albums there, and nobody cared.
I believe Tidal was also the first streaming service to offer lossless audio, so like non-compressed.
Yeah.
And then Apple did it, and Spotify's finally done it. I'm not sure. I think they are though, because Neil Young got real pissed at Spotify, and I think he went to Tidal.
Again, somebody else I don't care about.
Neil Young?
Don't care.
Oh, dude, as my mother would say, the voice of an angel, but he looks like a serial killer. Really?
Yeah.
He's cool because he's acoustic and electric.
A lot of the folk singers, not my jam.
You should listen to his electric stuff, dude. He's the godfather of grunge.
Just not my jam.
Dun 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 bam bam.
Yeah, no. Just
All right.
it's fine. I don't have like an active despisal for him like I do the Beatles.
It's so weird, man. They just like don't affect you in any way, shape, or form.
Don't like them. You know what Beatles I like? The Beatles from the Dewey Cox story.
Oh, that is kind of funny.
Those are the Beatles that I like.
That is kind of funny.
John C. Reilly and Paul Rudd.
Yes. 100%. What is it? Justin Long, Jack Black. God, who's the other one? I can't remember. It was Paul Rudd, and then one of the other one, I can't remember his name, but we are the Beatles after all. The Beatles.
I'm a big
Do you want to
fan.
do LSD with the Beatles?
I am also a big fan of. We talked about this the other day. The Jungle Book.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. We're your friends. We're your friends. That's good.
Also, was it you that walked out of that with King Louie?
It did.
Yeah.
Hey, kid, why don't you want to stay in the jungle? I'm Christopher Walken.
Yeah, no, he probably had a watch up there.
Kept this watch up my ass for 10 years.
But also, how dare you? I brought that up like 3 different people, and they're like, how did he walk out of that? It was great.
Well, when things become so special and iconic to you, it's
A watch up
like,
their butt?
No, like you hold on to it so tight that
But you do hold on to the watch so tight.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was well done.
It's tough out here.
You hold on to, so you cherish some things so much that you don't want it
10 whole years.
messed with. You know, like when Solo came out, I was like, how am I supposed to watch this movie without Harrison Ford as Han Solo?
Well, it was him when he was younger.
But it's not him. It's some other dude. Then I actually liked it.
Yeah, see? Allow yourself to like things. Hater.
Oh, I'm the hater. That's what's up. That's what's up. You hear that? I'm the hater.
Yeah.
I've never heard that in my life from you.
Look at you. Hater. I'm a glass half full guy.
Dude, I can be a hater. I'm not going to lie. I can be a huge hater on some things.
Look, I mean, sometimes it's called for.
Yeah.
Just is. Does this day feel weird because like we're already like mentally in Baltimore?
Yeah, dude, I'm so checked out.
I mean, you're literally holding a microphone because you broke it.
Yep. Wonder if I could get a headset in here.
Absolutely not.
Why not?
No.
I like the
I
headset.
want to make you hold it.
No, I'm going to fix it during the commercial break.
Good
In
luck
fact,
with
is
that.
it time to go to that?
I mean, he
we
can
do
probably
that?
go now.
Oakley dokley. Well, we got a show for you guys today. It is a Wednesday. As Danny mentioned, we will be on a jet plane to Baltimore tomorrow, as we'll be out there covering the Army-Navy game. We'll do a show live for you like we do normally from 10 to 1. It'll be 1 to 4 in our world, but it'll be 10 to 1 for you on Friday. Danny's working on a what could be a bitchin' guest list. So we'll do that. Tomorrow's show, you will have 3 hours of Dusty Hera. So T's and P's, the old brand man, as he'll take over tomorrow. It is a Wednesday today. We have Tyson Alger on at 10:30. We'll talk a little Oregon Duckies. Blazers will get back in action tomorrow. So some of our show today will be a little bit of things we can't do tomorrow. Blazers don't play till tomorrow, but I thought it'd be fun if we had a good conversation. Web Gems is great, and we'll get into a lot of Army-Navy stuff, plus Thursday Night Football, the Seahawks looking like the most complete team in the NFL. But we'll start. Are bowl games dying? Should they die? Or is it just the haves and the have-nots? We'll do that next. 105.1 The Fan.
Sleeping with my finger on the trigger.
1017 here, Portland Sports Leader. Don't you forget it. We are live from the shadows of the historic Fremont Bridge and Odyssey Station. 503-864-6326 is the fan text line. She'll let you interact with us throughout the entire show. There's also the YouTube channel, youtube.com/1051 The Fan. This is very difficult for me not to touch it because I touch the microphone, which is probably why it's broken, because I touch it. And now when you can't touch something, what do you want to do? You just want to touch it. You just want to touch it. Right, Danny?
Indeed.
But Brandon Sprague came in as a hero. I owe him a breakfast sandwich that'll probably turn down.
No, you'll get it for him and I'll steal it.
He wants a burrito. Okay.
I'll steal it.
I owe you a breakfast burrito, Brandon, for coming in the clutch and hooking me up with this situation. But okay, enough about that. We got a lot to get to. There's some college football chatter about, some NFL and hour number deuce. We'll talk some Army-Navy stuff as well. Tyson Alger is going to join us in 15 minutes, and kind of on the heels of that, with the Oregon Ducks being able to host their first playoff game at Autzen, as they host JMU next Saturday at 4:30, and you can hear everything, wall-to-wall coverage right here on the home of the Ducks, 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. Do you think this is one of the biggest games in Oregon history? Side note before we get into this.
Not in Oregon history, at Autzen.
Yeah, because I was thinking about, like, if I could ask Jerry Allen one question, I would ask him, how big is this game in the history of Oregon Ducks? Because obviously natties mean more.
Yes.
And Rose Bowls, you could argue, mean more.
It's not at Autzen.
Right, but
you can argue the biggest game that Oregon's ever had at Oregon was Ohio State last year.
Yeah, you could make that argument.
So now that you have a playoff game, the importance, this is the most important game that's ever been played at Autzen.
For sure at Autzen. I guess I wonder where it ranks in just the pantheon of Oregon games.
It's not that. I mean, it's high.
Is it because it's JMU?
It's JMU.
Yeah.
Last year's Ohio State game was the largest attendance in Autzen Stadium history.
Yeah.
And you're playing against a perennial powerhouse team in what ended up being a great game.
That's true. I was just curious about it. Yeah.
As far as the pantheon of, like, the game itself against JMU, it's not that high.
No,
but that it's a playoff game and
it's gotta be
at
high.
Autzen,
that's why
it's high.
And that's
for
what
sure.
I mean.
Yes.
Because I was talking with Brandman before the game, and he was talking with he has some buddies that go to JMU or live in Harrisonburg, Virginia. They were like, dude, we're coming.
Oh, I mean, for JMU, it's huge.
And so, like, for me, I would go. And if I was an Oregon alumni, there's no way you're pulling me out of that game.
Look, a playoff game at Autzen is super. The Blazers are playing at the same time that day. Our producer, Danny, is an Oregon alum, and he was like, yeah, kind of bummed about that. I was like, well, at least it's just JMU. You know what I mean? Like, it's a playoff game at Autzen, which is super dope. I get that, and I get you want to go, but, like, also, at least it's like JMU. You know what I mean? Like, let's say something got weird there and they decided to push Ole Miss down there. That would suck to miss.
It would really, I also think it would really, really suck to host a playoff game and lose.
Oof.
You know, I think that would be just a kick to the pants.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. And it's going to happen frequently over the years.
It's going to be fun when that happens.
I know. And that's why I feel bad for any, like, G5, G6 team that, like, has an amazing, incredible year, hosts a game and loses. I mean, didn't Boise State lose? No, that was neutral site. Boise State had the bye, so that wasn't at Boise. But that would be brutal if a G5, G6 team got to a point where they were hosting a game, like you snuck into the 7th seed because you were undefeated and had a win against, like, I don't know, who were losers? Notre Dame. Say you have a win against Notre Dame. By the way, the collective, we all hate Notre Dame, is pretty rad.
Yo, shout out the Big 12 AD.
Yeah, right?
Egregious.
Throwing strays at somebody.
Like, he didn't dance around it. He closed it with, and I tell him everything if I was in the same room with him. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Getting spicy on your mark. I like it.
Standing on business.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you were like an undefeated G5 team and you went to South Bend because they wouldn't come to you and you beat them and that was your signature win, which allowed you to host a game, dude, that would be the most incredible thing in the world.
Right?
I went to an NIT game at Wazoo and thought, this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you have stakes, it matters, man.
Are you concerned, Danny? I know this has been kind of a national narrative, and I was kind of curious to let it air out a little bit and see if anybody else made some stance. Let's remove Notre Dame from the equation because no, let's not. Let's keep them in because it's their fault we're having this conversation. Are you concerned about the future of bowl games? Like, where do you sit on that? As we've seen Iowa State Kansas State, and then a bunch of 5 and 7 teams. That's what I want to skip. Let's knock out the 5 and 7 teams that said no because they knew they weren't going bowling, so they've like packed up shop.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of them are saying no. Iowa State saying no, Kansas State saying no because of their coaching situation. But, you know, Ole Miss is going to a bowl game and their coach situation. Washington State's going to a bowl game, their coach situation. Are you concerned that this trend will continue and will lose bowl games?
I mean, it's probably going to happen, but here's at least my fix for it. It's the Super Conference. Because then the bowl games matter to the teams that aren't in the 40. Because it's a way for them to get money. It's a way for them to get prestige. It's a way for them to show out. It's a way for them to kind of stunt and kind of, you know, present themselves in a manner that can get them elevated.
You don't think that would have less viewership because it's not the Super Conference?
I think it would in a sense, but I think bowl games already right now have like the Cheez-It Bowl or the Military Bowl. Like they aren't like getting eye-popping numbers. People are watching because it's usually a standalone bowl like in the next couple of weeks.
Or it's like Monday the 22nd and you have the day off like I do and there's 3 games on in the day and it's just on.
Yeah, but I think that there could be a chance for those teams where it becomes kind of a showcase. And then not only that, the money that goes with it. I think I don't want it to be that, but that's the thing, man. Like for some of these schools, you know, we heard the numbers that were thrown about Washington State and how much money they were throwing around last year. I mean, old Jimmy Rogers let the cat out of the bag with what he had to work with at Washington State last year.
Although I found out Boise State works with the same amount of money.
Okay, but in that same vein, Boise State turned down any bowl games?
Nope. No siree.
Do you think Washington State or Oregon State should be turning down bowl games?
No siree. I'm very glad my team didn't.
Getting $1 million is a good thing.
It's a very good thing. And that's why I guess the question is just how do you retool it? Or does it need to be retooled? Can it be fine the way it is? You know, I've heard people talk about could you do a mini playoff in the bowls?
Do like an NIT kind of deal?
Yeah, that could be fun.
But guess what? If you have a super conference and you have a playoff that's in there, you do basically what an NIT for the others, and you turn that into a playoff.
I think so too. And you know, there's that way you could fill a lot of these.
You basically have the super division, then you have FBS.
And I don't even know if it has to be labeled that way.
Well, no, I'm saying like the CFP is like the super division, like, but the next one that's just like the rest of the FBS.
Yeah, and I think you could tie that in, and it could go into like I don't know, maybe you take the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl and the Orange Bowl.
Those will never
out of the equation,
those
and
those
host the quarters and the national championship.
Those will always be the premier. They're not going to give that up.
All right,
those bowl games want that because it's a lot of money for them too.
But I do think there's some of them like.
But the Alamo Bowl?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like the higher tier secondary bowls?
The Pop-Tart Bowl and Duke's Mayo Bowl are like, the Pop-Tarts Bowl was going to have BYU Notre Dame.
Well, that's the whole thing is like.
That's a huge game.
Look, we're going to Army-Navy. That is USAA's premier sponsorship event.
It's going to be at M&T Stadium, M&T Bank Stadium, where the Ravens play, and the place is going to be sold out.
Yeah, it's going to be packed to the gills.
NFL stadium.
That's the thing, but this like for those brands, like the reason USA is bringing us out there is yes, they want to put on a pomp and circumstance and show us a good time, but it's like the people who run USAA are going to be out on the field with us in the pregame marchouts because like it matters to them. For Pop-Tarts, for the Alamo Bowl, all those sponsors for Duke's Mayo. They don't pump all this marketing into it for nothing.
Right.
Like, so, like, it means something to them because it's like their thing that they're doing. And with that, it kind of elevates it. Because, like, we don't care about the Pop-Tart Bowl, but we do. It's fun.
We do because it's fun. Yeah, there's a way to try to market it into a more enjoyable experience because in the world of NIL and even before NIL, in the world of the NFL.
Did you see the NIL commercial with Trinidad Chambliss?
No, I think Lowercase told me that yesterday.
It ran last night.
I just haven't seen it.
It's Trinidad Chambliss in the transfer portal, and he announces his transfer, changing cell phone companies.
Oh wow! I mean, Drew Aller was in the Ram commercial.
But I was just like, yo, they spun that up quick.
Well, what I was going to say is like a lot of people, are worried, in the NIL world, like some people are commenting on the YouTube chat, the NIL world doesn't exist or the swag bag isn't that big of an incentive in traveling because of the NIL world. But look, the bowl games are affected more so by the NFL. The NFL is what keeps you from it. Because let's say if you are Oklahoma and let's take BYU, okay? BYU obviously is not eligible, but let's use Bear Brockmeyer for an example, okay? Let's say Bear Bachmeier is a guy that is going to be used in the NFL a la Taysom Hill. Okay, big dude who can run the football, throw it if you need him to, but probably not your prototypical NFL quarterback.
Sure.
If he's a day tour, second round, bro, he ain't playing in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. So NIL has nothing to do with that. I'm not worried about guys that play in bowl games and guys that don't play in bowl games because the NFL, when that place calls, means more to you than anything else.
For sure.
I just want to. I don't want to lose bowl games for the record. I think they're fun.
I know watching changing, but I don't think they're gone.
I know watching the Bahamas Bowl is an S show because nobody's there and security's garbage and it's like randos walking in. So there is that, but there's also
you're gonna watch because it's Cal.
I am gonna watch because it's Cal in the Hawaii Bowl. Yeah, like I'm in, and I think that we need to remind ourselves, and I think coaches are starting to say this too, the college football playoff or bust mentality can work for those high-end schools, but not everybody lives in that world. And
Most don't.
I think we as fans, and we're a little kind of stuck because we're in Oregon territory, that you can still have a great season. Dude, if my team wins a bowl game, I'm going to be through the roof. And I think we have to remember that college football playoff or bust mentality is fine if you're Texas. But that's like 8 schools.
Yeah.
You don't have to follow.
You can strive for that. You can thrive for that, whatever you want to call it. But there's going to be years where you fall out of it. It's going to happen.
Truly is. All right, when we come back, Tyson Alger will join us. We'll talk a little Ducks. We'll put a little bow on the season and kind of how we got here and some exciting things about that. And we'll take a small peekaboo ahead to the game against James Madison. That's next. But first, there's Casey with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Oregon Ducks defensive back Solomon Davis plans to enter the transfer portal when it opens up on January 2nd. This marks the third defensive back departing from Oregon when the transfer portal opens up, as senior cornerback Jaleel Florence and redshirt freshman Dakota Fields have already announced their plans to depart. Some breaking news in the MLB as Pete Alonso is signing with the Baltimore Orioles on a 5-year, $155 million deal. Alonso hit .272 with 38 home runs and 126 RBIs last season. And after adding Phillip Rivers to their practice squad, the Indianapolis Colts have announced that they've added quarterback Brett Ripien and kicker Bailey Grupe to the active 53-man roster. They have also placed veteran defensive back Travarius Ward on IR with a concussion. Ward has been in the protocol twice already this season, and he will miss the final 4 games of the regular season. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for Seahawks football, the Fan Sports
Don't touch it.
All right. Well, I got to.
Don't touch it.
All right, we're here. It's a Wednesday, so you know Wednesday means we have Tyson Alger joining us, which he always does, and we're very, very happy to have him. Tyson, how are you, my friend? Are you glad to have a week off, at least from the Duck football portion of your life?
Yeah, man, this is nice, smooth sailing here for about a week and a half before things start to ramp back up next week.
Well, that's great. That's great. Anything planned for the next holiday love for you?
No, I'm just sitting here waiting. I'm ready for James Madison, guys. Like I remember sitting down before the season started in August and just daydreaming about the Dukes coming into Autzen Stadium on December 20th. So I'm just ready and primed for that.
Tyson, we were kind of debating this a little bit earlier. How big of a game is this as far as like the pantheon of Oregon games? Like JMU isn't the biggest opponent they've ever faced, but it's the first time they're going to host a playoff game at Autzen Stadium. Like when you look at that, like where does this kind of fit in the biggest games in Oregon's history?
It's definitely a unique game in Oregon history, and I think because of being playoff and the historical aspect from it, like I think you could probably make a position for top 10 games anticipated in Oregon, but I just think it's a great schedule for the Ducks. I mean, like this is a nice kind of gradual step into the pool as opposed to like last year's belly flop into the deep end and at the Rose Bowl. So I think like from a football standpoint, it works great for Oregon, but just from like a sheer excitement and anticipation standpoint, it didn't help that for the last 3 or 4 weeks, we were all just kind of doing the, what if Bama comes? What if Notre Dame comes? What if Mario and Miami end up here? So, I think the atmosphere for this will be great. It's going to be December. It's right before Christmas. We'll see what the weather's looking like. But I think if this game ends up going the way that it should go, I think by halftime this is going to kind of just feel like a regular non-conference Ducks game.
He's Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor lookout, Eugene, Springfield. And I think I asked you this question last week, but I think it deserves warranting asking again as the dust has kind of settled. When you look back on this Oregon season, and I know we had you on at the very beginning before a snap was even had, and it kind of up in the air about what this Ducks season could look like. Are we still in that same boat? Are we tempering expectations going into the playoffs? Or are we, it feels to me like we're almost back at ground zero of, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, I think at this point it's fair to say that Oregon's pretty good. Like no matter if you think they've hit their ceiling or not, or played their best ball or been healthy, like you don't go 11-1 and not be baseline good. I still like in terms of the top end though, like I still have no idea like how this could play out like with the playoff. With the roster that they've had for like the last month of the season, we saw that they could battle, they could go through adversity, they could kind of win games of attrition, but I think it's pretty drastically different when you get guys like Corian Moore and Gary Bryant Jr. and you get your offensive line back and healthy. So like I think with the Oregon team that we've seen for the past month, like I still think on any given Saturday they can compete with anybody. But I really do think that in terms of the high end level of this team as to whether they can win 4 games in a row against playoff caliber teams, I'm still a little up in the air on them just because we haven't really seen them play at their best this year other than maybe for a couple weeks early in the season.
Tyson, what is the best possible outcome for Oregon to come out of this game? I mean, outside of a win, is it put guys away early, get out of there healthy? Like what like when you're looking at the goals for Oregon to come out of this game, like what is, if you're ranking them, how do they look?
Yeah, I think one kind of train of thought would be like, it'd be nice for the guys to be able to get a little bit of adversity in this game, shake some of that rust off, like get crisp going into the Texas Tech game. But I just think Oregon's played too many games this year where like they've had to battle and they know how to win those games. So like I don't think they need to learn anything from this game against JMU. I think this is a score as many points as you can quickly, get the guys out of the game, still get a little bit of rust off of them, but just get everybody into Texas Tech healthy. I think that's the biggest thing for this roster.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. And I think the football gods kind of smiled on Oregon a little bit, and I'm curious your thoughts on it, and maybe any other kind of playoff thoughts you have in general, whether it's, if you have anything to say about Notre Dame, you're more than welcome to. But it feels like last year Oregon got kind of a raw deal in being the number one seed and having their first game to be a month later and taking on what ended up being the national championship. It feels like the gods smiled on them a little bit this year and offer them what's probably, I know you don't love the concept of seeing Indiana again unless it's in a national championship, but it feels like this is the best possible situation the Ducks could be in. A nice game against a JMU team and a Texas Tech team who, let's be real, is the 4 seed.
Yeah, it's so funny to think about how like last year Oregon's season was objectively better than this one. They went 12-0, and then they win the Big Ten title game, and then they get the national champion in the first game of the playoff. And so this year, you don't get that bye, so you're not technically as far as you were last year. But the opportunity to play JMU and then Texas Tech, like I just think that's such a better draw for this team than it was before. I do think that we're getting a little forgetful about what Indiana has done, like recently, like very recently, and actually over the course of this entire season. Like they're the number one team in the country. They beat Ohio State, and I know a lot of people are looking at this bracket and seeing Ohio State on the other end and being like, "Oh, all you have to do is beat Indiana." Well, Indiana's still a pretty darn good football team, as we've seen. So I do think that that's going to be quite the test. But then again, I think you get to the Final Four, every team's going to be pretty darn good in there. So I think that's kind of the goal right now, is to just get there and see what happens. But the route there is certainly cleaner than it was a year ago. I was watching some of that Texas Tech game, and they do have a very good defense. They're very destructive on the front line, and they can create havoc. But I don't think that they're in the league of Indiana and Ohio State and maybe Georgia. So, I like this side of the bracket. As for Notre Dame, I know nobody has shared their opinions on them yet. So, I don't need to wade into those waters.
Tyson, yeah, I'm going to put the cart before the horse because you started to drive that thing down there for me. Getting past JMU and looking forward to Texas Tech. The way that you talked about them there, I'm a little bit surprised in the sense of that you don't see them on that next level. What is it about Tech that, as far as where they sit nationally and kind of how they match up with Oregon, that maybe makes you feel a little bit more comfortable with them than some of the other teams?
Yeah, I just don't like these teams that buy their players. I don't like these teams with these big NIL budgets. I don't think it can work from season. No, I'm joking.
Rich uncle oil money. Yeah, it never works.
Yeah, I mean, like they obviously have very talented players across their roster. I just think Oregon's a lot more dynamic in the ways that they can attack them. And Texas Tech is a great football team, guys. They're number 4 for a reason. But when you're kind of comparing that against the Ohio States, Indianas, and Georgias, I think kind of what the Ducks have faced this year in terms of like their top level teams, like in Indiana, I just think Indiana is more dynamic than Texas Tech can be.
He's Tyson Alger. He joins us every single Wednesday at 10:30 for a double seggy. The I-5 corridor, look out Eugene, Springfield. Go follow his work. It's great stuff. I read it every week. We'll come right back, Tyson. I want to get into some in-house stuff, some landing, coaching, things like that as we prepare for a college football playoff game next week. We'll do all that next with Tyson, 105.1 The Fan. He's Tyson Alger of the I-5 Corridor Lookout Eugene Springfield. Joins us every Wednesday to talk little Oregon Ducks football. There's 503-864-6326, the fan text line, or the YouTube chat. Let us know how you're feeling as we're having this conversation with Tyson, as we always do. And Tyson, I kind of want to use this downtime, which is probably a wonderful period for the Oregon Ducks coaching staff. As the dust has kind of settled on Will Stein to Kentucky and Tosh Lupoy to Cal and stuff, where is the inner workings of the coaching staff going into this game, whether it's their preparation, their time taken away? We've heard the story about Tosh going to Hawaii, etc., or potential in-house candidates, things like that. What is the vibe around the coaching staff right now?
Yeah, it seems pretty calm. Like this isn't quite where it was, when the Ducks first brought in Will Stein to replace Kenny Dillingham, where it didn't really seem like they had viable in-house candidates because, it looks like in-house they're going to be promoting Drew Maringer, who's the tight ends coach, to the offensive coordinator position to replace Will Stein. And then on the defensive side, it looks like they're going in-house again, too, with secondary coach Chris Hampton being kind of promoted to replace Tosh. And so, yeah, it's not ideal, obviously, to be 3 weeks before your first football or your first playoff game and having to face the prospect of losing and replacing both coordinators. But it seems that the process at least is a fairly easy one this year. And then, obviously you have the juggling that Stein and Lupoy are going to be doing, where they're going to still be kind of coaching and calling plays for the Ducks during the playoffs while trying to figure out how to get boots on the ground at their new jobs.
See, the reason I ask is because I think any coach would prefer to promote from within, kind of the guys that know the culture, know the system, know how you do stuff. And I'm not shocked they're going in-house. I guess I was just curious how much thought process might have gone into the situation of hiring outside of house, because I would feel that the Oregon State offensive coordinator, and definitely in this landing regime, the Oregon State defensive coordinator positions would be highly sought after jobs for people out of house. Is there any moment that it's out of house?
Yeah, that it was a little surprising to me just because, the last time that Lanning had to replace one of these was 3 years ago with Will Stein. And at that point, the Ducks were coming off a pretty good year with Bo Nix's first season. And I think they went 11-2 or 11-3, 9-3. Like they were a pretty good team. But like Lanning kind of wasn't a name yet. And Oregon, while it was kind of like really kind of getting started in the NIL and kind of transfer portal world, like they weren't quite established as that yet either. So you kind of fast forward 3 years and the Ducks have been to consecutive playoffs. So like they're well known as one of the best supported programs in the country too financially. And so I think at this point in Lanning's tenure, he does have the ability to kind of get into the old cliche of whatever living room he wants when it comes to hiring somebody. And then you can see the track record too of these guys go on to get other jobs. But I do think that just 4 years now into his career here at Oregon, he's had a lot of assistants such as Hampton and Maringer who have been along for the process, who know Lanning knows, they know him. And, the other thing too is, one of the big kind of things with this Oregon team, and it may kind of sound cheesy and cliche, but like they really love familiarity and guys that have good, strong relationships with their roster and guys that they know they can kind of trust with them. And so I think with both of these guys, they've proven themselves to Lanning that they are good coaches and can kind of handle this position, but it's also just some kind of familiarity and continuity for the program when you are losing two guys who have been here for 3+ years together.
Tyson, when you look at this, the second year of the playoff for the Ducks, what's different about the timing for Lanning? And obviously that they don't have the bye to go into. So what's different in the timing and the preparation? What did they learn from last year that they're looking at applying this year or changing around or tweaking?
Yeah, they were able to kind of take a nice week off last week. Coaches got out, players got out. I saw some pictures of Bryce Betcher out there duck hunting, which it's kind of
that's weird.
a weird image there if you really want to get into the weeds of it. But they got back to practice on Tuesday, and I think it's just kind of obviously these games are different and there's a lot more on the line. It's win or go home, but I think just kind of approaching this JMU one before obviously getting into next week where you have to be good from the start, the week after where you have to be good from the start and you have to be prepared. I think that's probably what caught the Ducks off guard. The biggest thing last year was just they basically had a month off, and then they weren't quick in the first half of that game, and by the end of the first quarter, it was pretty much over. So I think there's just kind of a lot of focus on fast starts and playing quick and cleaning up the penalties, because those have been a issue for much of this season. But obviously, just kind of being healthy and getting into this thing and being able to give your best swing at it.
He's Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor lookout, Eugene Springfield. I'll finish up with one of these questions. I assume there's might not be any there, but I always got to ask, any update on injuries, any transfer portal news, any recruiting backlash, frontlash, whatever you want to call it, any other little tidbits as the season starts to unwind for some of those non-marquee players?
Yeah, they finished up strong on the recruiting. They weren't able to get the big receiver that they were trying to steal away from Ohio State, but they were still able to kind of seal up that number 3 class in the country. So I think they'll be okay there, guys. Transfer portal, a couple guys have announced that they're leaving, but none of them are on kind of the level of being impact players that are going to affect Oregon in the playoffs. So yeah, like it's kind of been. I hate this period in college football where the portal is open and you have coaches leaving and all those sorts of things. And it's just kind of a mess. But fortunately for Oregon, if you look at the last 2 or 3 years, they haven't really had any of those impact players leaving the team before the season's really over. So it's smooth sailing there right now.
Like I said, the I-5 corridor, lookout, Eugene Springfield, pump the brand, buddy. What you writing?
Oh man, let's see here. We have a frequently asked questions about the college football post coming out tomorrow, where I just kind of dig into what actually goes into hosting a home playoff game. There's a lot of hotels and workers and businesses that get a nice little before Christmas boost right before the holiday. So kind of digging into that. I'm doing a few stories about just some of the aughts and traditions, such as shout and like that guy who wears the O chain, just to introduce JMU fans to Eugene. And yeah, other than that, we're just kind of gearing up for the postseason, baby.
All right, my friend. Well, enjoy the weekend, and we will catch up with you next week, and let's really dive into this JMU game. You better bring the heat, my man. I'm going to need to know about that number 2 defense in the nation.
I'll do my best.
He's Tyson Alger, joins us every Wednesday. Thanks, buddy. Enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tyson.
Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor, lookout, Eugene Springfield. Find him wherever you like. I have to believe, I loved that question that you asked Danny about the preparation from Lanning, because even though he keeps a lot of stuff close to the vest, I don't know if he I'm in no way, shape, or form saying he screwed up last year and that's why they lost to Ohio State. But I have to imagine he's looking at that.
They're evaluating that.
And there's a bunch of stuff he's going to do differently, whether it's
hey, we like this. Hey, we didn't like this.
Yeah.
Hey, we should probably look at this. And yes, it's different with the buy and no buy and all those kind of things. But
you're still off for a couple weeks, though,
Yeah.
and it might not be 3 weeks, but it's still 2
let
weeks.
guys go this week so that you can bring guys in, ramp guys up, just kind of knowing what that ramp up period looks like. Those kind of things, I think those matter.
Yeah, I'm also really curious. I'm just fascinated by who, and we won't know. I tried to sneak it in there, and I don't blame Tyson because, they like I said, Lanning keeps a lot of stuff close to the vest. I'm very curious about who might go with Tosh and Will. What players might go. Obviously the Novastad thing is big, but I'm curious any of the young guys that want to kind of follow these coordinators and get a good shot. I'm fascinated by that. We'll catch up with him again next week. As Oregon gets ready to take on James Madison University in their first ever hosted college football playoff game. Again, that is next Saturday. Wall-to-wall coverage right here on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM. You can catch everything there. When we come back, Blazers will get back into action last night. A couple days off. Can I help some things? How healthy is this team going into this weekend? We'll do that next. 105.1 The Fan.
Must Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the Oregon Ducks defensive back Solomon Davis plans to enter the transfer portal when it opens up on January 2nd. This marks the third defensive back departing from Oregon when the transfer portal opens up, as senior cornerback Jaleel Florence and redshirt freshman Dakota Fields have already announced their plans to depart. Some breaking news in the MLB, as Pete Alonso is signing with the Baltimore Orioles on a 5-year, $155 million deal. Alonso hit .272 with 38 home runs and 126 RBIs last season. And after adding Phillip Rivers to their practice squad, the Indianapolis Colts have announced that they have added quarterback Brett Ripien and kicker Bailey Grupe to the active 53-man roster. They have also placed veteran defensive back Travarius Ward on IR with a concussion. Ward has been in the protocol twice already this season, and he will miss the final 4 games of the regular season. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of prime time with Isaac and Sue.
All right, hour number deuce here. Portland Sports Leader. Don't you forget it, guys. You missed the first hour of the program, you can catch that on the Fan Podcast, 1051thefan.com, the Odyssey app. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can also head over to the YouTubes, youtube.com/1051thefan. You can catch previous shows that you missed. If you missed Lucy Burge on this morning, on the Sunrise Guys, you can look up Dirt and Sprague on YouTube as well. If you miss your Primetime Boys, you can find them anywhere, including the Odyssey app, Rewind, Fast Forward, just not in the future, because that would be impossible. Some NFL this hour coming up. Web Gems gets into some classic trolling. But let's get into this right now. The Blazers have had the last few days off. They're in action tomorrow night. Danny's going to be watching the game in a hotel room at 9 o'clock at night.
Or,
unless I can find us a bar.
Unless we can find.
I will find us a bar.
There's plenty of sports bars around there. I got a buddy of mine who lives in Baltimore. Might come out and hang for a little bit.
Hey, that'd
too,
be cool.
So, but yeah, I've got to watch the game, and hopefully it's got to be close, because then once the game gets over, I got to trickle on back up to my hotel room and have everything all set up and ready to go to hop on the old Zoom ski.
Look, when was the last time the Blazers played? Sunday?
Yeah, they're gonna have 3 days off.
Ooh, boy, if there was ever a time this team could use some days off, it's right now.
Yeah, I mean they're still,
just whether it's mud butt or just more days of guys in their calves and their hammies and
all the lower body things. Yeah, that's kind of where things sit right now. You know, we get texts into the text line all, any update on Scoot, any update on Drew, any update, and it's like, no.
Yeah, if we had them, we'd
trust
give
me
them to you for sure.
There's the official updates, then there's the ones that I ask about, and it's like I don't check every single day, because I'm not going to be that guy. Because a guy isn't going to go from not doing anything to doing stuff
and doing everything.
Yeah, it's like it's going to be a very slow process, and you know, whether it's Drew or, and then the other thing is they're on the road, so I can't just like go hit somebody up real quick and easy and be like, hey, what's going on? And then if they tell me nothing new, I can't go up to a player and be like, hey man, what's actually going on? You know, like that I do that all the time.
Sure.
And guys will give me that stuff. And a lot of times I won't report it if it's like a big injury or something like that. It's one of those things of like, if there's something there, I'll usually hint at, yeah, no, things are getting better. Or, yeah, I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I give you the, yeah, I don't know, it's usually not good.
Yeah, something that's really valuable about this Blazers schedule right now, as I kind of alluded to. You talked about how it was one of the hardest schedules in the league.
It was the hardest schedule in the league, and as of now, let me go ahead and update it. The Kings have bypassed them, and it is very close.
And it's funny because they have the Kings twice this month.
And that's what's going to change here now is that they have the Pelicans, the Kings twice. They play the Thunder one more time before the end of the year. They are done playing the Thunder for the season.
Awesome.
New Year's Eve is the last
until
time
first round of the playoffs. Let's go, bitches.
But their strength of schedule, when you sort it out, it doesn't want to say that it matters, but it helps kind of put it in perspective. The Blazers have like you can adjust it by the strength of offenses that they've played.
Oh,
they have played the toughest strength of schedule by offense in the league by a substantial amount.
Yeah, you have a Minnesota team. I know Golden State struggles, but they still got a dude named Steph Curry. There's an LA Lakers team there a couple times.
It's kind of funny you bring up
Oklahoma
Minnesota.
City.
Minnesota has the weakest strength of
Really?
schedule when it comes to offenses in the league. They have the second weakest schedule in the NBA. Oklahoma City has the weakest schedule, but that also because they can't play the top team in the league.
What? I can't play myself? Something I do like about this schedule coming up, it's basically 4 games in kind of the next 10 days,
There's
11
a little
days.
more space in them.
It's really nice. So I'm sitting here looking at this Monday, December 22nd game, home against Detroit. Ooh, I have that day off. Maybe I'll go to that game. Kind of circled as, maybe not a Drew and Scoot situation, but let's get Donovan healthy. Let's get Shaden a little bit of extra rest. And this could be a nice, I know the Blazers don't play on Christmas Day, but this could be a nice, I don't watch the NBA till Christmas time to really showcase this team getting out of the holiday.
Yeah, no, it is. And obviously the NBA Cup is the reason why there's that big space this week. So that's what's allowing them to have that little bit of room, and their schedule does lighten up. That's the thing, is their schedule lightens up, and that's, there's, for every team in the league, this is what happens. This is you have these bumps and these blocks along the way. For the Blazers, they have that the group of games coming up where it's okay, yeah, you've got the Pelicans, and it's, I'm sorry, I got to scroll back through here. Trying to find my schedule notes.
Pelicans,
Warriors, Kings twice, and the Pistons, Magic, Clippers, Celtics, Mavs, and Thunder to round out December.
And that big chunk of the 22nd are all games at home. That's guys sleeping in their own beds. And when we're talking about, the again, not the Drews and Scoots of the world, but the guys taking the Knicks, the Denny getting beaten up in the post all the time, the Donovan Clingan being sick, and then Jeremy sick, and then obviously it spreads like a kindergarten class.
7 of the next 9 are at home.
Yeah, and that's nice. That will get this team ready to go. And look,
they're home around the holidays too, which it matters to guys.
It really does. And as a lot of you guys point out on the YouTube chat or on the fan text line, the NBA doesn't give us enough credit. Well, this team is still a small but growing team
and they're always going to have the most or the second most travel distance in the league because of where they are geographically, and there's no Seattle and no Las Vegas.
Exactly. So let's say we play the narrative that everybody loves to beat the horse on, that nobody cares till Christmas. Okay, well, if that is true, then get this team healthy and ready to rumble, and then when it hits a Prime Video game on December 26th, when it hits a Peacock game on December 29th, or hell, even against the Warriors on January 13th on a Peacock, get that team ready to shine in front of a national team
and get as close to 500 as you can.
Yeah.
There are winnable games that, I just rattled off. Right, they've done really well against the Warriors. They should beat the Pelicans. They should beat the Kings. Now the Pistons, they played them.
They
damn
did
well
play them
tight.
tough.
The Magic is a game that they should have won that game.
I am so fascinated by another game against Orlando, but at home. I want to know if that little bit of home juju can flip that script, because the Blazers, you're right, should have won that game.
And then they have the Clippers, and boy, the Clippers are bad.
And that's a disaster.
The Celtics are certainly outperforming. I know Ant's going to really want that game. And the Mavs, Derek Lively's been shut down for the season for foot surgery.
And they're about to trade everybody.
So they're in a bit of disarray. So there is a chance. I don't expect this team to go out there. I've got the win probabilities up here. They will be favored in 1, 2, 3, 4 of those 9 games. And in the others, they have above a 40% chance. 1, 2, 3. So 7 of the 9 games, they have above a 40% chance by probability to win those games. Now, they have a 14% chance against the Thunder. But they're also the only team in the league that have beaten the Thunder.
Take that, losers.
So just some things to consider as far as where things are. For me, it's can you string a couple of wins together, or can you play above, that 500 ball, steal a game here against a Pistons or a Magic team or a Celtics team? Can you steal 1 or 2 of those, win the games you're supposed to against the Kings, both those Kings games and the Mavericks? Basically, can you, over the next 9 games, can you go 5-4?
Mm-hmm.
Can you go 6-3?
And I think a lot of that is going to fringe on probably what I'm going to watch the most of in this kind of gearing up for the holiday and stuff. Is I'm going to be watching the Chris Murrays of the world. I'm going to be watching the Duop Reiths of the world, the Caleb Loves of the world. When they get their opportunities, if Soko's going to be a starter, I want to see these guys take advantage of their minutes. Like you said the other day about Young. Young had a rough first half. against the Grizzlies. Had a really rough first half, but you can see it kind of turn around a little bit in the second half. I want to see how these guys get the opportunities when they do play, because coming down the line, they're going to lose those opportunities. When Drew comes back, when, Shaden Sharp is fully healthy, not on a minutes restriction, Matisse Thybulle comes back, Rob Time Lord will always be on the back-to-back, but when Donovan gets his legs on him, because look, there's been stretches where Donovan's played 35 minutes of games in back-to-back games, not necessarily back-to-back nights, but back-to-back games. So I'm going to be watching a lot of these role players, these borderline fringe players, and how they play, because they're going to lose time soon.
The ask is there upon them, and it's that's when those opportunities aren't always there, and so when they do pop up, you do have to take advantage of them. For the Blazers, they've had a good Caleb Love game, they've had a good Chris Murray game, they've had a good CD game. Like those,
even Wap's had a couple good games too.
Like, Wap was huge against OKC. I mean, in that win, they don't win that game without him. Ryan
Rupert doesn't exist.
Rupes had a rough season.
Yes.
And it's a bit of a bummer because he's such a hard-working kid. I want him to do well, but I hope that he gets another opportunity and he goes out there and he can kind of shake some stuff off. But no, it has been rough for him, and that's the thing is, trying to battle through that and trying to figure some stuff out. That's the thing that a lot of these young guys got to figure out, and so you're gonna have some time. Guys are still dinged up. Like I said, I haven't heard anything about Drew. I haven't heard anything about Scoot. Those two particularly. From what I've heard about Matisse, it all sounds encouraging. He's into a soft kind of a cast, not even a cast, like a soft wrap on his hand.
And Scoot feels like the way the team is handling it feels like when we all know.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be a collective effort of announcing that.
Yeah, and the thing about it is because it's a hamstring tear, he's just chilling.
Yeah.
Like with Matisse, it's a hand. He can do stuff. He can still run. He can still stay in shape.
Except Justin Herbert, he sucks.
Oh, Tease is
I had to.
Drew has got Scoot has got to get back in shape.
Right. He's just got to get in basketball shape.
Yeah, not even NBA game shape. He's got to get in shape first. And again, he's not us, but there's a difference.
I hope he's not me. Raymond Felton is jealous of me.
But it's hard. It's hard to do that.
It is.
When you can't move, it is hard to stay in shape. Like, yeah, you can sit there and you can do strength training stuff, upper body, and you can burn calories and all those things and keep the aerobic capacity up.
But if you're not careful, you're the Roger Federer, or not the Roger Federer, the Rafa Nadal. Like Scoot's all of a sudden jacked up top and's got thin legs on the bottom. You've talked about how Dame's had to go through that, about making sure his left leg's not as.
I busted his balls. I'm like, hey, what's up, that skinny cat there, brother? Leg. Yeah. So it's that part of that stuff happens. So it's going to take him a little while to ramp up to basketball shape. Then he's going to have to go through getting in game shape.
Right.
And then he's going to be able to come back. It's going to, from the time that he's cleared to start till the time he returns, I bet you it's close to a month.
Yeah. I'll get you out on this, Danny, as I sit here and interview you. I'm just joking. We're having a conversation. I don't know, because I don't see it. I don't see the X's and O's as great as you do. I seem to be pretty happy with Tiago Splitter. If there's anything you would change or ask of in Tiago's approach, do you have anything at this moment?
No, he's tinkering around. He's essentially turned Shaden into a six-man. He's playing 32, 34 minutes a night, but he's moved him into that role.
Because that's part of when I talk about wanting to watch, Chris Murray and Caleb Love and kind of City and these role players who will lose some time, is how Tiago maximizes those players in this time. Because
look, with Caleb the other night, he didn't have it, so Caleb didn't play.
He gets pulled.
It's like CD did have it a couple nights ago, so CD played some heavier minutes. Like that's and the problem for them really is that it's not just injuries; it's that their front court, their guard depth, and their center depth are both just ravaged right now.
Totally,
and it's just so hard. Thankfully, they have a crap ton of wings with size. But when those two positions are hit that hard, it's one thing if you've got a wing down here, a backup guard down here, or one of your bigs down there. But no, it's your two deep at your center, and it's your two deep at your point guard.
That makes it real tough.
That makes it really tough, because now you're not going with a backup.
Yeah.
Now you're going with the third and fourth guys. And at your big spot, you're going with your third, fourth, and fifth guy. You're having Jeremy and Denny play heavy load at the five. Like.
And they're just not built for the five.
And against some teams, that's fine. It's a nice change of pace. It's a curveball, whatever you want to call it. But it's not the thing you want to roll out for 20 minutes a night.
No, it's not. And I think you feel a little differently than I do, but I hope that when everybody is back and healthy, we still see some of that tinkering. We still see nights where Jeremy starts, nights where Shaden starts, just to kind of see some nights where Caleb gets in there to see what he can alleviate. Because I know when Drew comes back, it's not like he's playing 35 minutes.
No.
Because that's going to take some time as well.
And there's another guy who can't do much right now because he's chilling on a calf.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Boy, the only thing scarier than an Achilles is a calf right now because they tend to be correlated. All right, Blazers are in action tomorrow night. Damn it, I just had this up here and I already forgot. Who do they play tomorrow?
Pels.
The Pelicans, right. That's why I forgot.
The Pelicans.
Because I was like, the Pelicans, yeah. Ugh. Someone's going to look at us real weird in Baltimore. They're like, really? Blazers, Pelicans?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
can you throw this game on?
Must watch. What else is on that day? That's what I want to see. That's the fascinating thing, because if we go to a bar and ask to watch an NBA game, what are they going to yell at us about?
Clippers, Rockets, Celtics, Bucks, Nuggets, Kings. So it's a light
Bucks.
slate. There's only 4 games.
Celtics, Bucks, maybe we'll get yelled at.
Yeah, I mean, it's
At least the
Baltimore.
Wizards don't play.
Yeah.
Are they fans of the Wizards in Baltimore?
Yeah.
Are they fans of the Wizards in DC?
I mean, I know there's a lot of DC sports fans for sure.
All right.
I mean, Dusty and I stumbled into a bar and it happened to be the official Duck Bar.
What?
Yeah, it was an Irish pub. Great food, by the way. We get in there to the official Duck Bar in DC.
All right.
And I was like, you tricked me into this, didn't you?
I plead the fifth. I can neither confirm nor deny that I knew what I was doing.
I'm gonna find a USC bar.
Well,
Post up there.
don't take out your anger on him on me. I didn't do anything.
But I didn't do anything to him.
Well,
This. Well, there you go. That's a nice little corn impersonation.
All right. When we come back, let's get in a little bit of NFL. The NFC South looks to be in turmoil right now. Don't say I told you so, but maybe I told you so. 105.1 The Fan.
The
You know, I can't count on this microphone working.
I mean, it works.
But you can't always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday, all season long, starting at just $30 a month. Or $30 for your first year, excuse me. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. I'm currently watching Paramount Plus as there's a game in Baku, Azerbaijan. I cannot pronounce the team that's playing, but they are playing Ajax, which is a Dutch club.
Eredivisie.
One of the most famous clubs in the world for creating. If you ever think your team is a feeder team for the big clubs, I give you Ajax Football Club.
Right.
Let's get into some NFL chatter here. And, boy, don't look now. But the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are tied for first place in the NFC South. We'll have a larger discussion on the NFC in general here in a moment. But I wonder, and I've kind of been sneakily on the on the Carolina Panthers for a little bit. I'm not quite sure why, because I agree that Bryce Young kind of poo-poo.
I want to give you something here real quick.
Shoot.
The Carolina Panthers are 7-6. The Atlanta Falcons are 4-9. Do you know what the difference is in point differential between those two teams?
I mean, I have it in front of me.
It's 11 points.
That's wild. But
They both suck.
right? But did we not? What was the point differential in the Washington Commanders last year?
They were still positive.
Well, I know they were positive, but it still probably wasn't a big number because they were in a lot of close games.
They were. But the Panthers' wins are against the Falcons 30-0. That is giving them, okay, those two teams. There is that means if you take that game away, there is a 20-point differential that the Falcons have over the Panthers. It is a direct head-to-head where they have 30 more points than them.
They are the second conference in the league with negative point differential from top to bottom. The other would be lowercase. That'd be the AFC North.
There you go.
Where offenses have decided their quarterbacks are either dead, 100 years old, or the defense doesn't work anymore.
The Panthers do have two good wins. The Packers, who decided to just pee down their legs, and then last week against the Rams.
I thought that game against the Rams was an excellent game. And I think if I have to play in a world, you know, I've said this about Oregon, Indiana. I've said this about San Francisco 49ers when they had Mac Jones at the helm. Sometimes when you can play not very well and still win games is a testament to you. Now, again, we say no style points in the NFL, and I think that's where the Carolina Panthers live right now. It's a just-win mentality.
But again, their wins outside of those are the Falcons twice, a loss to the Saints.
That's a rough
one.
A
13-6 win over the Jets, a win over the Cowboys, the Dolphins. Those are their wins. They lost. Let's talk about the good teams they've played. The Jags. Jags are a good team, right?
Jags are a good team.
26-10. Patriots, they're a good team, right?
They are a very good team.
42-13. The Bills, a good team, 40-9.
That's rough.
And then the
Niners.
49ers, 20-9. So when the exception of the Rams game, all credit for beating Matt Stafford, the Rams, and everything else that happened in that game. They're not good.
I think there are aspects of them that are good. I've watched them a couple times on TV. I think they've got some dudes on defense. I like Rico. Bryce Young's playing better. I know you're giving me if you can't see, he's giving me the look like, why do you say stupid things? It's not a hot take. He's playing better.
Yes, you're right. He's playing better than what his career has been, but his career has been one of the worst we've ever seen.
This is where life gets really, really hard for them. They are at the Saints this weekend. Yes, this weekend. They are at home against the Bucks. They're at home against the Seahawks.
Same with Saints, Bucks,
and then they get the
Seahawks,
Bucks again.
But the Bucks
Bucks game could be Sunday Night Football.
The Bucks are a shell of themselves right now.
That is true. And I think that's where most of this lives. Like, I sit here and I try my hardest to kind of stick up for Carolina. It's just because Tampa's just not fully healthy. And I wish they were for twofold, because then one, I could either stop this ridiculous obsession that I have with the Carolina Panthers, or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would be 11 and whatever.
What would you rather watch in the playoffs? A beat-up Bucks team in the first round or the Panthers?
Let Bryce Young sling it.
I think so, too. I think I would rather watch a healthy team that no one's giving a chance to than a banged-up team and a could.
The Panthers have a lot of young talent.
Because, like, take the Broncos last year.
They just don't have a lot of talent in the obvious places in
right.
the front seven where the game is won.
And at the skill position, well, I mean, on offense side, you know,
They've
there's
got
still
Ted McMillan and
that's
Chuba
true.
Hubbard and Rico Dowdle.
And I love Rico.
It's not bad.
I think it's kind of like last year, Denver played Buffalo, and that game was not pretty, but you could see in Denver that something's happening here, something's going on, and I think I would like to see that from Carolina in a game. To see a game on the line, you shouldn't be here, and you got here, and see how they respond. Young coaching staff, et cetera, the whole thing. Now, if Bryce Young goes out there and throws like he's Max Bosworth,
12 of 30
then we've got a problem. If he plays like Jalen Hurts did against the Chargers, then we've got a problem. But I think I would take a run at an unknown team than just a banged up team trying to skate by. And you know I love the Bucs.
Yeah.
You know I'm here for the Bucs.
No, there wasn't like anti-Buck slander. It's just I'm going to need to see a lot more out of the Panthers. I'm going to need you to see you like beat more than a team.
And we'll see that in their next 4 games.
To an extent. The Seahawks for sure, but the Bucs are a shell of themselves.
They already lost to the Saints, man. Now they're going on the road.
Dun, 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 dun.
Look out.
Look over Tyler Shuck.
Let's stick in the NFC and try to kind of figure out this picture because it feels wide open. You know, there's the team I like, but who knows about them? There's the reigning Super Bowl champions. How this is all going to play out. We'll have a little fun as we're getting nearer and nearer to the playoffs. But first, that's lowercase with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Oregon Ducks defensive back Solomon Davis plans to enter the transfer portal when it opens up on January 2nd, marking the 3rd defensive back departing from Oregon when the transfer portal plans to open up. As senior quarterback Jaleel Florence and redshirt freshman DB Dakota Fields have already announced their plans to depart. Some breaking news in the MLB as Pete Alonso is signing with the Baltimore Orioles on a 5-year, $155 million deal. Alonso hit .272 with 38 home runs and 126 RBIs last season. After adding Phillip Rivers to their practice squad, the Indianapolis Colts have announced that they have added quarterback Brett Ripien and kicker Bailey Groupie to the active 53-man roster. They have also placed veteran defensive back Travarius Ward on IR with a concussion. Ward has been in the protocol twice already this season, and he will miss the final 4 games of the regular season. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Sports Saturday with Joe Fisher and
Coming up next is Web Gems. We'll do that right before the big nooner. Friendly program reminder, Danny and I will be on the road tomorrow. We'll be off. Do a show live from Baltimore on Friday from 10 to 1 as we gear up for Army-Navy. Brandman will be in tomorrow, so you get 3 hours of Dusty hurrah. It'll be nice. It'll be nice. I know a lot of you guys miss him on the air, and so you'll get the chance to get your Dusty fix in. Maybe I'll stream live on the Wi-Fi for the Odyssey app.
There you go. Whilst flying?
Whilst flying.
Oh, if you have
That's
a certain...
not true. I'm going to be asleep.
If you have a certain team or a certain cell phone carrier, you get free Wi-Fi on the plane.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not my carrier. I never get lucky like that. All those kind of promotions, I never get that.
No?
It's like you could pre-board if you had a Timbers jersey on flying Alaska. And I'm like, damn it, I'm on Southwest. You know, I never get those bennies. Free baseball package if you're on T-Mobile. Damn it, I'm not on T-Mobile. My dad was the guy that would chase that. He'd be like, oh, so T-Mobile gives me that. Okay, so I'll be a T-Mobile guy.
I mean, look, the baseball one's a nice one. It's like $160 for that
yeah,
thing.
dude. And you never remember that they're about to charge you, and they don't tell you that they're about to charge you, and then all of a sudden $160 is gone. And you're like, damn. Ugh. Oh, well, I was going to pay for it anyway.
Yeah.
You can't do that. They have to be able to warn you.
Oh, you know what I do with all those? I take as soon as I put my credit card in, if I have to run a subscription for anything,
You just cancel it right away.
I pull the credit card out immediately.
Just you can't have my money.
Yeah.
They're going to get my money anyway.
It's the simple things in life.
They're going to get my money anyway. We were having a conversation about the NFC South and how much of a crazy landscape it is. I present to you, excuse me, the NFC on a whole, my friend. The Philadelphia Eagles currently...
Just like we drew it up.
The Philadelphia Eagles currently are the number 3 seed in the NFC. Does anybody think that is a scary team to play?
I mean, you should.
Really?
Yeah.
After what we've seen and everything
Despite
going
all
on?
their struggles, the talent's still there.
Yeah.
They don't have the depth that they had last year, so that's probably the only worry that I think teams have is they go, okay, they still are very talented, but who's their backup?
Yeah.
I just think that there is no team in the NFC. Well, that's not true. There are fewer teams in the NFC than anywhere else that really make me go, this team's going on a run. I started to think that way with the Rams, and then there's a clunker against Carolina.
There's only three teams in the NFC that, by the math, by the numbers, are scary.
Yeah, I will guess the Rams.
Yes.
The Seahawks.
Yes.
And the Packers.
No.
Ooh, I thought because that defense is very good.
Same division.
Give me the 49ers.
No.
Chicago.
No. Lions.
Oh, really? The Lions match up metrically better than the Chicago Bears?
Yep. Bears have a negative 1 point differential.
Oh.
They're basically playing net even right now.
That would make sense for my constant bitching and moaning about how I don't like the Chicago Bears and I don't enjoy watching them. I think you get into it. I can't live in it. I'm out on it. And we talked about this yesterday. I'm out on Philadelphia. That team is becoming dysfunctional. That team is bursting at the seams. And now the one guy you could rely on in Jalen Hurts is falling apart. And I don't mean health-wise. I mean mentally and schematically. Everything is just not working anymore. The Packers scare me a little bit because sometimes that offense just no-shows. And that's really strange, especially because Jordan Love should be a lot better than that, and Matt LaFleur is supposed to be an offensive guy. Because what do I always give the San Francisco 49ers praise for being here? Is they're extremely well coached. Extremely well coached. It's the only way they've survived.
So they
all this
overcome
stuff.
what they have.
And that's why I'm out on Philly, because I don't think they're well coached. Tampa's too hurt. I love this Seahawk team. You know I love this Seahawk team. I mean, kind of like our conversation with the Carolina Panthers, I would like to see the Bears in the playoffs. I would. Show me.
Yeah.
Show me.
Get some young quarterback blood in there. See what happens.
Hell, maybe you make some plays and you win that game. You know, that would be a lot of fun.
You're the Bears. You lose in the Hail Mary against the Commanders. That kind of pushes the Commanders into the playoffs and the NFC Championship run. What if the Bears are the beneficiary of that this year, where they play so many one-score games, but they just keep coming out on the other end, and then you look at them and they find themselves winning a playoff game.
The outside
unlikely, but
unlikely. The eliminated teams are your Falcons, Cardinals, Saints, Commanders, Giants. Vikings and Cowboys hanging on by the hair of their chinny chin chin. It's wild too. The loser of the South is not going to the playoffs.
What do you mean?
Like whoever doesn't win the NFC South is
not
going to the playoffs.
I thought you were talking about the bottom team in the NFC South. I was like, well, yeah, duh.
And that's one of those things, like, again, I just want to remind some people and stuff, like when we were talking about the college football playoff and how, Notre Dame didn't get in, man, 2 group of 5 teams, man, like these things balance themselves out, okay? Yes, the NFC South doesn't look very good. And yes, the differences between the 2 teams who have the identical record is a 4 seed and the 9th team, okay? Yes, but this stuff has a way of evening out, okay? Not every year divisions are like this. So anybody screaming like the South shouldn't put a team in, like, just shut up.
We all know how the divisions work.
Yeah, this thing just kind of happens.
Sometimes your
that
division
way.
sucks.
I don't think
AFC North.
I don't think Tampa is getting into. That was a shot. I don't think Tampa or Carolina are getting into the playoffs over a team that was really going to make a Super Bowl run, because if they're going to make a run, then they'd already be in.
Yeah, I mean, you flip it over to the AFC. Really, the only division that you can say that about is the North, as far as because otherwise, AFC's got the Patriots at the top. The South has the Jags and the Texans and the Colts.
The West has the Kansas City and Denver.
Also, this little Chargers
Yeah,
team,
they got
too.
3 teams.
But the difference, though, I think, between the AFC North and the NFC South is, look, the Bengals are the Bengals, and they're struggling. They're on the outside looking in. They can't lose another game, but even if they win out, they're probably still
and the
not
Browns
going in.
are cheeks.
But Joe Burrow scares you in a playoff because he can beat you in any given day. For all the things we've said about Baltimore and John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson and how that offense looks, that team is still. Lamar and John Harbaugh are still talented enough that I do not want to see them in the playoffs.
Sure, but
same with the Kansas City Chiefs. Like they might be having the roughest year of the Andy Reid era right now. I still don't want to see him on a playoff Sunday.
But seeing is the thing. That's the operative word there. Lamar Jackson. Thought I saw he didn't practice today again.
Oh, I haven't looked.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're done. I think they're done. But what I'm saying is, if they get in, it's like a Steeler thing.
There you go.
It's like a Steeler thing as well. Like Tomlin's playoff success of late hasn't been great. Yes, Aaron Rodgers looks old. Yes, but still,
It's
talking
Aaron
about
Rodgers and Mike Tomlin.
Exactly. You're talking about 2 of the best guys to do it at what they do.
Just
like
give me a chance.
on any day, it can mess you up, and that's the same with a Bryce Young or a Caleb Williams. Now, I think Caleb is leaps better than Bryce Young, but you put him in a situation you never know. I didn't think Bo Nix was going to beat the Buffalo Bills
Bryce
last year,
Young,
but
playoff
it could have
riser?
happened. It could happen. What if the lights come on and he's like, "Oh right, I did this at Alabama when I won a Natty or a Heisman or whatever it was." You just don't know. And I think some teams like that, even though they don't look good right now, are still teams you want to avoid. Houston, you want to avoid because
Houston scares the
because
crap
that
out of me.
defense will punch you in the face and then laugh at you and hit you again. But D'Amico doesn't have a lot of playoff success. CJ Stroud doesn't have a lot of playoff success. So yes, that Texans defense scares you.
Just
but,
as a
but
point
there's
of
no
reference.
aura around it that scares you.
Oh, I think it does. We talk
Around
about
the franchise.
CJ Stroud is 2-2 in the playoffs.
yeah,
500.
which that's fine. But also, I'm going to give you 3 teams. Who do you think has the best point differential in these? The Chiefs, the Texans, and the Broncos. Who has the best point differential in those teams?
I wouldn't be shocked if it's the Texans, but I'll go the Broncos.
It is the Texans.
Are the Broncos too?
Yep.
Broncos offense struggles a lot.
They're only good in the fourth quarter.
They really are. But hey, I'd rather be good in the fourth than the first. Ask Jalen Hurts.
But I think it's interesting. Like, I know.
I think that number would be a lot different too if CJ Stroud was healthy all year.
Well, their CJ Stroud was healthy. Their wide receivers were healthy. Their offensive line was healthy and not bad. Like,
Not terrible.
and yet they're right on the their point differential is almost the same as the Bills. It's 83-75. Do you think about those two teams the same way? No. Because the offense is a problem, but their defense has been one of those dominant units we've seen in the last 15 years.
Who's the team to beat in the AFC?
I think it's Houston.
The team that scares me the most in the AFC is probably New England. Their defense is good. Drake May's been great. I know it's all untested.
Yeah, but that division isn't good.
No, I know.
The Bills are having a bad year.
Yeah.
The Jets are
Awful.
piss poor.
The Bills are having a bad 9-4 year. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, but they're not playing as good in their losses. Their losses are bad losses.
I don't know if I believe anybody on this.
And if you look at the losses that the Texans have had, their losses this year: Broncos 18-15, Seahawks 27-19, Jags 17-10, Bucks week 2, 2019, and Rams 14-9. They have been in every single one of those games. That Texans team scares the crap out of me if I'm another team.
Agreed, but the offense is my problem. Indianapolis has a quarterback issue. Buffalo has a defense issue. The Chargers have an attrition issue. The Pittsburgh Steelers have an ageism issue. The Jacksonville Jaguars, untested. Trevor Lawrence. New England Patriots, untested. Drake May. Denver Broncos, hell of a defense, untested. Bo Nix.
So many of these guys are untested. We are getting the full churn of the NFL where Rodgers is aging out. The obviously Rivers is coming back, but the old has the new has become old.
Yeah, in comparison of the AFC to the NFC, your quarterbacks for your division winners in the AFC currently, if everything stands, are Bo Nix, second year, Drake May, second year, Trevor Lawrence. Is he a franchise quarterback? And 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. You slide that down to the NFC, I have Matt Stafford, Hall of Famer. I have Jordan Love, who Patrick is very high on, whether he should be or shouldn't be. I have Jalen Hurts, who's been to 2 Super Bowls and won one. And I have Baker Mayfield, who has a Heisman Trophy. If those things aren't, one thing is not like the other here. But the problem is, and what's so scary and so fun about it is, of those 8 teams, if you ranked how the quarterback play is, it wouldn't be the old guys and then the young guys. They'd be sprinkled all in there.
But it is the olds versus the youngs.
It really is. It really is.
That's what's going to make this playoff push for both sides pretty interesting.
Because the olds in the NFC or in the AFC are all on the bottom. They're all on the bottom. Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. I mean, even C.J. Stroud's not a young guy anymore.
Well, I mean, he is.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's had 4 playoff games.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's young anymore.
That tells me
that's fair. That's fair.
Is Justin Herbert young? I don't think so anymore.
No, he's in his prime now.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's fair.
If Daniel Jones were healthy, this is his second team.
Yeah.
And he's won a playoff game.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. NFL. No fun league. I'm having no fun watching this league.
Trevor Lawrence is still without a playoff game? Or did he?
He had one.
I think they've lost.
The Chargers.
Oh, they beat the Chargers.
They beat the Chargers. Yeah.
But again, nobody knows if Trevor Lawrence is the guy.
So,
I mean, I think I said on this show before the season started that Trevor Lawrence is the quarterback under the biggest microscope this year.
Probably.
Because he's paid so much money and they can't figure it out. All right, coming up next is Web Gems. Everybody's favorite. We'll do that. 105.1 The Fan. All right, this Web Gem's everybody's favorite. We do it every single day at 11:45. Coming up on the big nooner, we'll get into some Army-Navy chatter as Danny and I are about to hit the road. As Luke Anderson would say, one for the road. Also chat a little Thursday night football since we'll be off tomorrow, so I'd like to get some thoughts on that because I really, really like a team that's playing in this game. But your Web Gems is brought to you today by James Madison University.
There you
go. Look, I love a good social media team.
It helps.
I love people that lean into narratives and talk a little friendly trash. So I've got a series of tweets here from JMU Sports News on Twitter. Let's see, what do you call it? You quote tweet, right? You like quote X or whatever it is, where you take someone's thing.
Mm-hmm. Quote tweet.
Aaron Fentress, we're all familiar with Aaron Fentress, tweeted this out to illustrate how preposterous it is to give playoff spots to G6 schools ranked outside of the top 15. Remember that Tulane's best player last year, a running back who rushed for 2,779 yards and 22 touchdowns over 2 seasons, transferred to Oregon in 2025 and was beaten out by 4 running backs. You're like, whoa, damn, that's a stat. To where JMU responded with, Aaron's brain might explode when he learns where some of Indiana's best players were in 2023. I like that. We got some more here for you. Just came across a stunning stat in our JMU Oregon research. The Ducks are winless against Sunbelt teams in 2025. JMU, 9-0. Makes you think. I will give you another one here. What's your favorite Cinderella story? Your choices are Miracle on Ice, UMB seed, 16 seed over UVA, Leicester City winning the Premier League in 2016, or the winner by an overwhelming margin of what's your favorite Cinderella story? 2025 Oregon making the college football playoff. A Cinderella story. Dude, you gotta love this, man. It's so good to just lean into it because, let's be real, JMU, a lot of things had to happen for you to get into this place and for you to have fun with it. I love it. This person tweets, you're cooking, but Ducks by double digits. And they said, we've always had a sweet spot for Cinderella stories. Oregon winning against a juggernaut like JMU would make even us smile for a second. See? I love it.
Lean into the pettiness.
Because I don't think this is going to go well. And somebody posted the score of number 1 Georgia against TCU, and it's 65-7. And the JMU Sports News Twitter account responded with, not sure JMU wins by that much. See? This is so good. Why not? Why not?
You got to have fun with it.
The massive talent gap, quote unquote, between JMU and Oregon is overblown. We've been grinding tape, and the Ducks are actually a lot better than people are saying. It would not surprise us one bit if Oregon kept it close in the first half. JMU cannot overlook this feisty Oregon bunch. I'm here for it.
Have your fun, man.
I mean, I think that's how I would be.
Look, the Last Dance hit it right. Anybody can talk trash when they're up. When it's 0-0, when it's tie game, that's when you got to do it. I respect it.
On the YouTube, Lanning's record against team that wear purple, I think, is like 2-4. Good sign for JMU.
It's very close to them Husky colors. They're purple and gold, aren't they?
I don't know if they're purple and gold. I know they're purple. They might be purple and white. I'm not sure. This is it, okay? I don't want to make it sound like I think JMU's walking into this game and it's like
purple and gold, official colors.
Oh, wow,
they got some gold.
Well, I officially hate James Madison now.
Wow, there it is. See?
There it is.
Inner Duck fan.
Duck honk right here. Right here on the show. We got one on this show. Look, I don't think JMU walks into this game and thinks, we're going to get rolled over. I hope everybody has a great time.
They're not just happy to be there.
No, I know. I think there is so much chip on the G5 school's shoulders, and I hope my team develops this about, you don't want us here? Okay, well, let's go make things interesting because guess what we still talk about? We still talk about Utah with Alex Smith and Urban Meyer. We still talk about Chris Peterson and Boise State beating Adrian Peterson in a Fiesta Bowl. When you win these games, you go down in infamy. People don't forget. And they don't forget this kind of stuff. And I think if you can have the fun with it without an actual, demonstrative FU mentality, that if you do lose, nobody's like, blah, bleep you, man. You talking trash, now you're going down. No, you kind of build it in the fun way. So then if you win, you do the Michael Scott, oh my God, it's happening. It's happening. And you can freak out and you can laugh about it as opposed to just be completely gutted when your team, yeah, I'll say it early. I think loses by at least 30. I think it's going to be a rough day for James Madison.
Kill him with kindness.
And why not? And why not? And in a world where everybody takes things way too GD seriously, loosen up.
Have some fun with it.
Let it ride. Let it ride. Speaking of having some fun with it, we are on our way to Baltimore. Let's have a little fun with Army-Navy. Let me tell you about a game in 1963. See if that gets your juices flowing. Plus, we'll get into a little of the style play of Navy and Army. Been a tradition since before the turn of the century, and not this turn of the century, the one before. Plus, we'll talk a little Thursday Night Football and close the arguments. The Big Nooner is next. That's Danny. I'm Patrick. 105.1 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Oregon Ducks defensive back Solomon Davis plans to enter the transfer portal when it opens up on January 2nd. This marks the third defensive back departing from Oregon when the transfer portal opens up at the end of the season, as senior cornerback Jaleel Florence and redshirt freshman Dakota Fields have already announced their plans to depart. Some breaking news in the MLB as Pete Alonso is signing with the Baltimore Orioles on a 5-year, $155 million deal. Alonso hit .272 with 38 home runs and 126 RBIs last season. And after adding Phillip Rivers to their practice squad, the Indianapolis Colts have announced that they have added QB Brett Ripien and kicker Bailey Grupe to the active 53-man roster. They have also placed veteran defensive back Travarius Ward on IR with a concussion. Ward has been in the protocol twice already this season, and he will miss the final 4 games of the regular season. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the firm of Harris and Marang. Weekdays 10 to 1. The Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
All right, 2 down to go here. Portland Sports Leader. This is the firm of Harris and Marang. We do it every single day from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We'll be off tomorrow. Dusty Harrell will be in to man the ship for us.
I love that we are, multiple hours into the show, and the broken mic is still getting to you to the point where you're talking about, as we're coming back, what if I unplug this and go into this? And all I'm thinking is, please do that so that Isaac Ropp comes in and has no idea what is going on.
Dude, it's rent-free in my head right now, man. It is dominating my brain right now.
It is.
Yeah. I have so many things to think about today.
But
I need to put up Christmas lights. I need to go grocery shopping. I have to pick up my kids. I have to pack. And the only thing I can't get out of my mind is this stupid microphone in front of me.
I know. It's like I'm sitting over here, like I'm trying not to be checked out at certain points in the show because I'm in the middle of selling my house and I'm like a day away from being able to close on it. I have surgery in 10 days and I have a trip to Baltimore in between this, and I've got like 97 things to do between now and when we leave tomorrow morning. And I'm just sitting here like, Mike's fine, dude. Mike's fine. It's good. It's good.
Those for joining us. So the second this show started, I broke the microphone here.
It was all Patrick Harris.
Yeah. I mean, I barely touched it.
Wow.
So who was before me?
Doesn't know his own strength.
Who was before me? That's
Saw you
the
yanking
question.
on it pretty hard.
Who's the one before me? Let's see. We're here with you for one more hour, then we'll turn it over to Duck Insider from 1 to 2. Give you the fan happy hour with Luke Anderson from 2 to 3, and then, baby, you guessed it, it's prime time from 3 to 7. Take you all the way home, finishing up 13 hours of live, continuous, local sports talk radio. Coming up in this hour, we'll chat a little about playing styles of Army and Navy, if you're not familiar with that. We'll talk a little Thursday Night Football tomorrow, as we won't be here, but I'm super fascinated by this game. We'll have closing arguments as well. But some fun history about Army-Navy. I've been looking at their notable games. Did you know that in 2016, Army defeated Navy for the first time since 2001? Snapped a 14-game losing streak.
It's hard out here.
Why is it so hard?
It happens sometimes, man.
Yeah, just can't get under it.
Got to get your coaching right. Like, I don't think coaching matters any more than at Army and Navy.
Well, you have to. I mean, you want to talk about culture.
It's not just culture. It's the players that you get, the limits that you have.
Totally.
For those that don't know, you need a waiver to be over 275 pounds.
Yeah, you got to be big.
And guess what? They don't get many of those guys.
I know.
Like, if you look at the average size of their offensive line, defensive line, they don't have 300-plus pounders.
Which is wild because back in the day, the 250-pounders, there probably weren't a ton of 300-pounders around, they all went to Army or Navy because that's what we did here in the old US of A. Which leads me to, in 1944 and 1945, both Army and Navy entered the game ranked number 1 and number 2 in the nation.
Happened quite a bit.
The 1945 game was labeled the game of the century before it was played. Army defeated Navy 32-13. Army was 9-0 that year. Navy was 7-0-1, and they tied against Notre Dame.
There you go.
Because that's football.
Those are the perennial powers.
But the cool one that I found was in 1963. It is shortly after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy.
Of course, you would think that was cool.
Daniel, that was a sitting president whose brains exploded on the car in Dallas, Texas.
We have a film of it.
I am not cool with that.
You ever watched this Zapruder film?
I have, dude.
Yeah.
I've seen all the conspiracy stuff around it too.
That was one of those things where I'd always heard about it.
To the left.
I'd always
Back and to the left.
I'd always heard about it, but I had never seen it until probably like 4 or 5 years ago.
Dude.
And I was like, oh, damn.
Jackie Kennedy gets on the car and picks up pieces of his brain.
Yeah. It's tough.
It was wild. But shortly after, the game was supposed to be played on November 30th. They pushed it back to December 7th, also coinciding with the 22nd anniversary of Pearl Harbor Day. So, we're just getting the juices flowing. 102,000 people were at Philadelphia Municipal Stadium, which was later renamed John F. Kennedy Stadium, which is really funny.
There you go, laughing at a dead president
The
again.
junior quarterback. I'm talking about it's funny about the relation, you jerk.
I'm not the jerk. You're over here saying it's a good time and then laughing at it. Come on now.
The quarterback for Army was Raleigh Stitchwa.
God, it's a great name.
I hope I'm saying that right.
Bring back dude's name Raleigh.
He, was a second-class cadet. He was a junior. They played Navy, whose second-class midshipman was a guy named Roger Staubach. And they won that game and clinched the Cotton Bowl National Championship game against Texas. Now Texas has entered the fray because it just means more in the South. Catch this, dude. Army nearly won the game after another touchdown and 2-point conversion. Stitchwa himself, the quarterback, recovered the onside kick and drove the ball to the Navy 2-yard line. Okay? The score is 21-15. They're about to do it. Until on 4th down, no timeouts, the crowd noise prevented old Raleigh from calling a play in time. Clock expires. Army loses. Navy goes to a natty against Texas.
It's tough out here.
Roger Staubach won this trophy called the Heisman Trophy that year.
Good one to win.
And went on to be a Hall of Fame quarterback in the NFL as he played for the Dallas Cowboys. The next year, these quarterbacks played off against each other in 64, and it was Navy who won. Also in that game, Calvin Huey was the first black man to play in Army Navy, so there was some cool stuff with that as well. After these two games, Roger Staubach goes to the NFL and plays for the Dallas Cowboys. Do you know what old Raleigh did? He just served 5 years in Vietnam with the 173rd Airborne.
That's so. When we're on Radio Row, there's a pretty good chance
that Raleigh's going to be there.
Well, no, that whether we talk to the admiral or the general, we will talk to midshipmen or cadets. And last year they brought what were the top 5 in their class. And for those that don't know, when you go through the academies, you get to pick your job based on where you graduate at. So that there's the kind of an honor. Now, service comes first as far as like what the requirements of the service are, but you get to make a decision along those lines. And when you get to talk to these young men and women, you will understand very quickly how different they are from any person you've ever met in your entire life. What it means to go to these academies and be successful. You, lowercase, you are a Steelers fan. Alejandro Villanueva. Ring a bell?
Army Ranger.
West Point graduate. Like there are guys. Mike Whaley, Packers guard, played at Navy. Staubach, obviously. There are a couple guys in the history of this rivalry in this game that played at service academies. Obviously, David Robinson played at Navy, had years deferred before he came to the NBA. But most of these guys, they go out and they lead very, 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 very different lives. You go out and what ends up happening to a lot of these guys, they end up running companies like USAA, They go on. They're like, if you go and you work in an academy, or you go to school in an academy, you end up very successful in life.
Yeah, you're littered all everywhere. You're not just military branch kind of stuff. You could be the CEO of Pepsi,
Yes.
the CEO of United Airlines, or anything.
What it takes to be successful at these universities, at these education centers, is different from anything else you can possibly fathom. And to be an athlete on top of it, these guys get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. If you're an athlete, you're getting up at 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, because you're going to do your workouts before you have to be there for roll call in the morning, be there for formation. You're in school where it's quite literally military drill. Everywhere you go. If you're in the Navy, you've got plebe month before you even start school. You spend a month there learning how to be a sailor, and you get your mentals broken. Like when you're an enlisted member, you go through basic training. It's trauma bonding. It is to break you down and build you back up. So it's so much more than just education. It is a lifestyle change. But what you see from these young men and women is absolutely crazy. And that's why you see these success stories or these historic games like Roger Staubach in 63, or you talk about where it's Army, Navy, and Notre Dame in 45. Like, that's why this is a standalone thing. That's why this game gets its own spotlight. That's why this is such an important deal. And I'm honestly, Harris, I'm really excited for you to get to not only just see this game, but to meet these men and women that have gone to these schools, the graduates that are longtime service members that are going to be at these games, not just in the crowd, but they're going to be there with the sponsors. They're going to be there with USAA. You're going to meet generals. You're going to meet colonels. The director of PR that will be with the general is probably going to be a full-blood colonel. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you start thinking about this. If you actually take a step back and you just look at and you talk to these people, you're just like, oh, this is just different. And I think it means even more for us, for our listeners coming out of Oregon. I've mentioned this before. Oregon has the least amount of military representation in the entire country by per capita, and I believe it's by raw numbers still. It bobs up and down between like 50 and 47, like some of the smaller states. We do not have a single active duty military installation in this state. Not one. So this, for a lot of people, this is your exposure to this. And I really genuinely want people, like when we have people on that are service members that are from these academies that are either active students or they are academy graduates or they are the commandant or the superintendent, any of those people that we have come on, just listen to them. Just listen to how different they are. Just listen to how different they conduct themselves. Just listen to the professionalism and the care that they have with everything they do. It is just starkly different from anything you hear in civilian life. And honestly, and I know this is a bit of a tangent, but like that was my hardest adjustment leaving the military. Was just how starkly different military life is to civilian life. It's still one of those things, like when I'll hear some, like the way people say some things or how certain people act, drives me crazy. It absolutely does. But this game is more than just this game. This game is a culture. It is a history. It is an ethos that is echoed through generations upon generations upon generations. You will run into guys that are there that are in their 70s and 80s that were there for these games. And they will tell you stories, and you will see tears. And like, I don't know anybody who's ever experienced anything like this that isn't moved to their core.
Right. 6 national titles between the two of them, 5 Heisman Trophy winners between the two of them. Should be a fun one. Let's talk about traditional playing styles between these two teams, because it seems trend seems to be bucking a little bit. Not necessarily preview of the game. We'll save that till Friday. But kind of just how football was played then, and can that still be played today? We'll get to that next. 105.1 The Fan.
The Fan.
What did I do wrong?
It's time to nut up or shut up.
Patrick Harris with you. That's Danny Marang to my left. Casey Smith on the ones and twos today. Talking a little Army-Navy football as we are headed there this weekend to cover. We'll do a live show from Thursday. Excited to meet all the peeps. Excited to see how our guest list turns out. And
just got a text on that.
Oh, yeah?
Our guy, Jimmy, is going to finalize things with me here in a little bit. So
wonderful.
Once I have that, I'll be able to share that out.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I don't want to necessarily predict this game. I'll like to wait and kind of do that on Friday as we do our show live from Baltimore. But I did think it would be fun to kind of look at kind of playing styles of these two teams, which basically their overall goal is kind of the same: control possession, wear down the other team,
limit mistakes,
discipline, heavy run game. Both of these teams kind of run some form of the triple option. But this year's been a little fun if you're a midshipman, as they seem to be throwing the ball a little more. What, their quarterback's got 1,500 yards, 1,400 yards passing?
We say that as Navy currently leads the nation in rushing.
Oh, but well, of course they do. Like, how far away is Army in that list?
They're fifth.
Yeah, exactly.
Air Force is third.
So I know they're so the academies are always going to run the football. We know, but I mean, when was and maybe I'm overstepping here and exposing my ignorance, but I mean, when was the last time a quarterback for either of these teams had 1,400 yards passing?
They have recently.
They have? Okay.
Yeah. They've had there's been some changes to this because teams are so. Here's the thing: when you're playing one of these service academies, how they beat you. I just went on that whole long rant about culture and lifestyle and discipline.
Are you going to do it again?
No.
Okay.
Because I noticed your eyes just kind of glossed over there.
They did not. I was just listening to you. I was giving you your space.
No, it's they beat you with discipline. They don't beat themselves. It's eye discipline. It's trusting your reads.
Yeah.
It's but it's such a different preparation from anything else you see. They do stuff differently. Do they have window dressing on things? Do they run a little bit more motion now? Do you find them, throwing some more trickeration in there? Do you see some more play action out of them? Yes, particularly Navy. Army, absolutely not. Army is throwing the ball for 500 yards this year.
Navy has what's called the wing T offense. Not to get super nerdy here, but I didn't know what it was, so I looked it up. It is a deceptive run-heavy football offense known for its misdirection, using formations with a wing-back offset from the tight end to create multiple threats from simple plays like the buck sweep, trap, and waggle, controlling the clock and keeping defenses all balanced. And you can see that they use the tight end more as kind of a distraction. It's so funny to think about, you better watch that tight end because I might throw him the football. And everybody's like, no, you won't, cowards. You're going to run the football.
But when they do,
the guy's right there.
That's when they spring them. That's the thing. It's they just lull you. Army was favored. Army was really good last year. Army was favored against Navy, and Horvath went off. They had a great game.
Do you think the potential, the tight end for Navy, because they do this sort of situation, what do you think the potential is that the best athlete on the field is the tight end for Navy?
You could probably say that, but I would probably lean towards Horvath.
The quarterback still.
Yeah. They if you look at their team this year, Horvath leads them obviously in passing, but he also leads them in rushing. He leads them in carries at 174. You just kind of go down the list. After that, you've got a guy with 133 carries, a guy with 62, a guy with 43, a guy with 54. And what's interesting in that is two of those guys are wide receivers, and the other one is a quarterback.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
Mm-hmm.
He threw the ball 19 times, too.
That's him kind of popping in and filling in for Horvath when he was dinged up. But you just kind of look at this and where this kind of all lands and where it all lies. And if you're talking about receptions, your number one receiver has 40 catches on the year. That tight end, 4.
Look, I understand why they play these styles, okay? I totally get it.
Because of who you have to recruit.
Because of who you have to recruit. Would it not be cool if one year someone just said, F it, we're throwing deep?
Well,
and even if you lose a ton of games, what if you try to install the air raid offense into one of these programs?
Air Force did this 4 or 5 years ago. They got a little bit more aggressive with it. It worked for a year. The next year it did not.
Yeah.
I think they went 2-9. It was nope, we're going back to what we know, fellas.
Is this some of the best job security in the world from coaches?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
why are you getting fired?
Number one, you're not going there not knowing what you're doing. Now, Army...
What's the NIL budget at Navy?
There's also something interesting about those service academies. There's no transfer portal. You don't transfer
no,
into
no.
the academy.
No.
Now, guys do leave.
Sure.
Guys do leave. You do not come in.
Yeah.
So, but that also factors into how they play. They play differently than everybody else, but what do they have? Continuity.
Mm-hmm. And it's just consistency. Like, you're not reinventing the wheel here. Also, I think what's nice about it is, it's a good flashback to what the old school game was like. I don't love that Georgia Tech just discovered the forward pass as well.
Mm-hmm.
They ran triple option for so long, and that was really kind of annoying because it felt like this run-heavy ball controlled, like super run-heavy ball controlled, should be saved for these teams that are built that way, and how you recruit and how you maintain.
Meanwhile, Georgia Tech, Calvin Johnson.
I know, it's so strange.
Wait, what?
It's so strange. So I love it from a sense that they continue to hold these traditions. But obviously
they sprinkle stuff in.
Obviously, I would like to see the modern game catch up to the academy.
But just just kind of highlight something here. Army's quarterback is 5'10", 210 pounds.
That's like my size.
Yes, very much. But that's the kind of guy that you have there. Like that's kind of what you're dealing with. And if you look at their roster and you know what? Let's play the game real quick. I'm going to look at their roster and let's take a look at some of their offensive linemen. Let's see. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys over 300 pounds on their offensive line.
Are they all starters?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3. But they're the heaviest guy I'm seeing on their entire roster.
I'm spending my entire coaching staff on getting all 300 pounds of those dudes on my starting roster.
The biggest guy they have on their roster, and this is definitely a waiver guy, he is 6'7", 318. He's a freshman from Clifton Park, New York.
Wow.
That is a monster. They have one guy heavier at 325. But again,
that's a huge human being.
All of these guys all have to get waivers to be that big.
Well, yeah, totally. Because, in theory, you're not healthy to serve, and that's part of the whole thing as well.
And once you get into service, you have to trim back down.
I know, but imagine the wide receivers you could get on that kind of dietary restriction, dude. Just some fast dudes that are chiseled.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at the wide receivers, which serve as running backs for these guys, a lot of them are rail thin.
Yeah, I guess that's true. They can't be wide receivers running deep because they got to be the running backs.
So you've got guys that are 5'9", $170, 5'7", 190. 5'9", $175. You aren't getting a lot of real big boys, but I think Army does have one of their guys is actually pretty big. Yeah, they've got a wide receiver 6'3", 200. But they're tight ends. I mean, that's where they're actually decently sized.
That's why I was wondering if that would be the best athlete, because you can, in theory, you can catch, you can block, you can run.
But all of their tight ends are underclassmen.
Oh, so you're saying me
they have one junior, the rest are freshmen and sophomores.
Saying me I should put a futures bet on this.
Army next year, baby.
Can you bet on Army Navy?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, I guess you could. Remember, these aren't for-profit teams either, are they?
Yeah,
they are supported by the United States government.
Click on the go to see more odds on ESPN, and it will take me to the DraftKings book.
Ooh, are there any good prop bets?
You know what? Let's pull it up.
We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and talk a little prop bets here for Army Navy as we'll be out there. But first, there's lowercase with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This sports update is brought to you by Reynolds Defense Firm. If you've been arrested for a DUI, you need a team of attorneys that you can put your trust into. Call Reynolds Defense Firm today, online at reynoldsdefensefirm.com. First on the Fan, Oregon Ducks defensive back Solomon Davis plans to enter the transfer portal when it opens up on January 2nd, marking the third defensive back departing from Oregon when the transfer portal is set to open, as senior cornerback Jaleel Florence and redshirt freshman Dakota Fields have already announced their plans to depart. Some breaking news in the MLB as Pete Alonso is signing with the Baltimore Orioles on a 5-year, $155 million deal. Alonso hit .272 with 38 home runs and 126 RBIs last season. And after adding Phillip Rivers to their practice squad, the Indianapolis Colts have announced that they have added quarterback Brett Rippon and kicker Bailey Grupe to the active 53-man roster. They have also placed veteran defensive back Travarius Ward on IR with a concussion. Ward has been in the protocol twice already this season, and he will miss the final 4 games of the regular season. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's Window into the Fan.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% up?
It's 646-326. That's the Fan text line. Couple thoughts coming in. Wing T offense straight out of 1930. Like all government agencies, the academies are using out-of-date software with the wing T. That's the winner of the day for me. Why does the government, who has, in theory, exponential resources, talk about FU money?
Because of how many
Spend it
layers
on
it
a-
has to go through.
Spend it on a toilet seat, but I can't get a working website.
You have to go, like, the amount of
You're sticking up for
bureaucracy.
crappy websites by the United States
No,
government?
are you kidding me? They're god awful. I was there through one of the major transitions we had in the Air Force, and it was just pure unadulterated hell.
Have you been to the IRS website, Casey? Don't ever go to the website. Let me tell you something now in your young age, all right? Get your taxes in order. Don't lie about stuff. Just put it all out there and deal with it. Because if you have to debate anything, even the smallest debate, bro, it will drive you bonkers.
The IRS. Do you know how much we owe you? Yes. Can you tell me? No.
What happens if I don't get it right?
You go to jail.
You're going to jail.
But can you tell me? No.
No.
But how do you know? Because we know.
And we might tell you tomorrow, and we might tell you in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know that either.
It's like, but why?
I ran the wing T in high school in the 2010s. It's nostalgic to see it ran today.
Mm-hmm. I got to check with Dusty. I think they did early in Pop Warner days at Glencoe.
I mean, I would think because wing T and the triple option and stuff probably help you build some base principles on the offensive line. You know, blocking and driving, moving around.
The way you move that stuff too is pretty interesting.
It makes sense. It's kind of base principles of football.
Only time I ever got a concussion was against the wing T offense.
Who'd you play against?
Dude? Sherwood.
Okay, yeah, they just transitioned out of that. Like, I want to say like in the last 10 years.
In the last 5.
The last 5, yeah, okay, yeah. There's still plenty of schools that run it. It's because, well, Sherwood was a smaller school, but it was like great. It's a lot like playing Army or Navy. Like in some of the those leagues, like you're getting more of the tradition or more of the modern offenses. But then you see Sherwood on the schedule, and you sit there and go, oh crap, like because you knew what you were getting into. Canby was like that for a long time too.
Anybody still run the pistol?
Oh yeah, I mean that's more modern.
Yeah, I suppose that is more modern,
Yeah.
but it still feels dated.
Yeah, there's certain
I
variations.
think there's
of
some
it.
Texas schools that still run pistol offense.
The Niners still run the pistol.
Yeah,
I mean, it's about personnel, right?
It's balance.
It's about who you got. If that's all you got.
you limit your strong side, weak side. There's different things you can do with it, but also you're deeper in the backfield and your rush lanes, all those things that kind of go around. There's all kinds of benefits and drawbacks to all kinds of systems. But the thing about this is it's the old reliable. It's the the 1970 Chevy pickup. Like if the thing's going to start, it's going to run. You can't kill it.
Run the ball.
It's funny that comes from a guy who's the head coach at Georgia Tech.
Which after that game, what did they do?
Run the
They
ball.
ran that ball down their throat.
You got some prop bets for me?
I do. I want to actually hit you with a couple guesses. On
Yeah,
these.
let's do it.
Let's go. I'm going to go with the passing props first. There's 2 quarterbacks in this game. Cale Helms at Army, who has passed for 500 yards this year. Blake Horvath has passed for 1,300 yards.
1390.
They go almost 1,400 yards. Obviously, Horvath has the higher over-under.
Correct.
What do you think their overs are, the gambling lines, for passing yards in the game? For first, Blake Horvath at Navy.
I'll bet you his over-under is $1.25.
Lower.
Lower? Wow. $1.16.
$1.10.5.
Wow. 110.5. Hit me with the over.
There's a 0% chance you get Cale Helms, but Cale Helms at Army. What is his over-under?
I'm going to go my lucky number, 34.
64.5.
Oh, dang. I went way too low.
There is only one receiving prop in this game. It is for Navy wide receiver Eli Heidenreich. What is his over in this game?
His over is going to be...
Is this yardage or reception?
Yardage only.
34.
That's my lucky number. He's going to go with this guy's lucky number.
Now that's a
Nope,
name
not
I've
that.
heard.
He's going to go with this guy.
got bad intentions.
I'm going to go 47.
Pretty damn close. 45.5.
Okay.
This is where it gets interesting. Player rushing yards. There are 2 Navy players, 2 Army players. For Navy, Blake Horvath, their leading rusher. What is his over-under in rushing yards?
84.
Keep in mind, his passing yardage was 110.
I'm going to stick with
He
84.
has more rushing yards than he has passing yards.
Okay.
I'm going to go with 115.
I'm going to go back to my original passing at 125.
109.5.
Dude, you know what you're telling me on this? is if we took the names off the front, this is some bad football.
It's the style, okay? Alex Texa, who is the wing back, over under rushing yards for him for Navy. He's their second leading rusher.
And he's an actual running back.
Wing back, running back, wide
yes,
receiver.
Yes, wing
yeah.
back.
75.
50.
You should have prices right at him there.
Yeah,
You should have gone with 73. It's 64.5. On the Army side, Cale Helms, what is his over?
To
Rushing.
rush? Oh, I bet you it's pretty decent. I bet you it's 105.
What you got, lowercase? He went with 105.
I'm going to go lower. I'll go 88.
You really should have hit him with the prices right. 106.5.
Yeah! Boom!
I'll just give you the last one for Army. It is 33.5.
And the spread on this game is 6. You said
6.
the over-under moved, though.
It has moved up. It was moved up 2 points.
Well, the coolest thing about this is I don't remember if it was you that said this week to me or if it was somebody I was hanging out with over the weekend. The coolest thing about this is it can be 31-10 in the fourth quarter, and the team with 10 points still going to bust their ass and try super hard.
Look, Army
so the game's like not over.
No, they will not let it be over.
Yeah.
Navy had obviously the massive upset last year against Army, and so we will get to do the same thing. I think it's the final 5 minutes. It's final 5 or final 4 minutes. I think we're allowed on the field so that we are there. And you're going to want to have your camera out and all those things. Number one, when we were walking out of the tunnel, we had the Army cannon right next to us.
I don't want that.
Oh, dude. Awesome.
My ears are already bad.
Oh, yeah. It'll wake you up real quick. But when you get down there, you can feel the tension.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what's going on, you can feel it because one rival is about to beat the other, and you can just feel it just like kind of rolling down on the field. Because for the next year, guess what they get to do?
They get to brag.
They get to talk that S. And like the pregame pomp and circumstance that comes along with this, all of the march-ons for both academies, awesome. When the juice really hits is when the students get in their sections. I've got a video last year.
Because then you put everybody together and now they're at each other.
Dude, I've got a video last year in the press box directly behind Army's student section. And you know the song, okay, Tsunami? The whole place starts shaking. See if it's in there.
Do they have a shout or a jump around at these games? Is there an end of third quarter situation?
Nothing like that, but obviously they sing their fight songs at the end of the game. But if it's the da 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 da, so you've got 1,200 people jumping up and down right in front of us. It is a roar that goes down on the field, and it rules, man.
Is it one of these?
Yeah, that looks great. I'm looking at it right now. The 2023 one.
Uh-huh.
That looks intense.
It's not 60,000 people at Austin. It's 1,200 students, and they are on tilt because this is the one time a year that they get to be on tilt at quote unquote at school.
Do I get to sing the national anthem? Is this something that we all sing?
I mean, you can.
Okay.
Absolutely can. You will see a lot of salutes in that crowd.
Yeah.
It's probably the most saluted national anthem in sports.
Probably. All right, it's time for us to get out of here. Closing arguments is next, and we'll send you on your way. 105.1 The Fan.
It's time for Easy Play, brought to you by Home Z, making home improvement easy.
Sold out. Noisy. There he is. What an atmosphere. LeBron for the lead. Got it!
I mean, don't stop yelling. LeBron! It's not obvious. Isn't it obvious? I keep coming.
ESPN LA right there. A couple nights ago, LeBron hits a big three. Give the Lakers the dub. The old man keeping the streak, starting the new streak going. Man, I like to think that I am as fresh and hip, and I make things look as easy as LeBron does, as we are the same age. This Easy Play brought to you by Home Z. Use Home Z's online calculator to estimate your project instantly. Make it easy. Call Home Z. That's HOMZE. HomeZ.com.
The Portland
All right, that'll do it for us. Closing Arguments brought to you by Leskin Law. Visit leskinlaw.com for more information. A programming note reminder for you that Dusty Hare will be in this chair tomorrow with you as he'll fill in for us as we're on our way to Baltimore. We'll be live from Friday. A lot of guests lined up. We'll talk about...
he wants to scratch that itch.
You know he does.
You know he does.
We'll get a lot about the pomp and circumstance of the game. Obviously, we'll look at the game itself. We're lining up guest lists, so Friday should be...
It's our heaviest guest show of the year.
Sure.
Hands down.
Bunch of stuff ready to go for Friday. Wish us safe in our travels. Some cleanup options here. Let's see. What do we got? The Baltimore Orioles signed Pete Alonso for a deal larger than Kyle Schwarber. It is 5 years, $155 million deal. My good friend Joe Fisher, that's his team. I'm happy for him on that. Big Studley first baseman there.
Polar bear, baby?
Well, it's clear the Mets weren't going to pay that money. I'm a little surprised by that.
I'm not, just because of how things have gone for them with the big money investments.
And they're like, we love you, Pete Alonso. And he's like, okay, then let's sign a contract. They're like, oh, wait a second. Whoa, man.
I think
we don't like you that much.
I think he'll get back to that. I think Cohen will get back to that, but I think he wants to maybe clear some books and
Soto's a lot of money.
Yeah, but not just that, but things did not go well with that pitching staff twice.
And now all eyes are on Baltimore for me if they trade Adley Rutschman.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson Holiday could be on the move. I think it's clear Gunner's the guy. There's a lot of dudes that announced they're going to be playing for the World Baseball Classic. Those rosters got to get set.
Mm-hmm.
USA is missing, I believe, a first baseman and some pitching and some depth. Speaking of Gunnar Henderson, he's going to play third because Bobby Witt Jr. at short.
Well, yeah.
Bryce Terang at second. The outfield is Judge and right, PCA in center, and damn it, I heard who's in left, and I can't remember.
God, outside of Judge, that's a really young team. I like that.
It's great. It should be great.
It's a good shift for USA Baseball.
Do you think Phillip Rivers will start this weekend?
No, because they haven't elevated him yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think if they were going to,
if they elevated him today, I would definitely believe it. If they elevate him tomorrow, yeah, I don't think so.
Let's see. We got some NBA games on tonight. It's Prime Video. It's Cup action, is it not? Let me bring that up real quick with Prime Video and Cup action.
You mean the best broadcast in the NBA right now?
Dude, when I see clips of that, let's talk about former players being adults for a second. Blake Griffin, Udonis, when those guys sit there and they talk, they're like having an intellectual conversation. Yeah. And that is such a breath of fresh air from the first takes of the world.
And they're not hating on the players that are out there and what things were like. No, there's look, Blake's hilarious. He has all the personality in the world. He's not a dummy.
No. I don't think anybody. I do think a lot of people might have thought that. And I still love my Inside the NBA. I still love the comical trash talk vibe that those guys have going. But I'll say it again. It is so refreshing to have some people that just want to sit down and talk ball. This is what we hoped Kobe would be in his end years of kind of just not doing what MJ does and just doing the solo film breakdown
pre-recorded,
but actually sitting down with dudes and having an unscripted, open conversation. I think those guys do really, really well. You see that with Steve Nash and LeBron in their wine drinking conversations.
Mind the game.
It's very nice because in the podcast world, let's be real. Every morning I wake up and it's like, what'd Draymond say on his podcast today? What'd Jeff Teague say on his podcast today? And some of those guys do a really good job.
Teague's incredible.
Teague tells stories, and it's pretty wild.
And it's so self-deprecating.
His co-hosts carry that show, though.
Do they? I only really catch snippets.
His co-hosts carry that show.
But it's just, kudos for Amazon, and that was probably the research they did of let's take a break. Let's look around at what the other guys are going to do, and let's try and be different. And let's see if it works. And I'll bet you if it doesn't work, they'll pivot. But right now, I mean, the studio, it also feels like the environment they sit in forces that narrative. Like they're in big, comfy couches. They're not on rolling chairs that your feet dangle if you're too short like me.
That crate's still over there?
My feet are on the crate right now. In fact, my right thigh is pushing up on the table.
I need to get one of those. Swag is a monster compared to me. And
dude.
Dangling toes over here.
Dude, this crate has been a game changer. Like, I'm so much more comfortable over here.
Rufio's present was really paying off.
My guy.
There you go.
My own big.
Yeah.
What should I get him for Christmas?
Something nice.
Like a milk crate?
There you go. Or some milk for the crate.
Does anybody drink milk anymore?
I'm sure some people do. Not me.
Not me. Do you drink milk, Casey?
I had a glass of milk yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's young.
He's young.
I can't do it, dude. Milk especially is so hard on my body.
I forget that. I hate the taste of it and the texture. It's like liquid snot.
I never liked milk. I've been a substitute of days. I've never really been a big cereal guy. Well, I kind of was as a kid, but then I moved on. But like, dude, I eat cashew yogurt. I had yogurt this morning. It was made out of cashews.
It's eggnog season right now, so that's what I've been on.
Ugh. Yeah, I'm out on that too. Even the spices and stuff.
Eggnog, a little bit of nutmeg and cinnamon on top.
No. Hard pass. All of those kind of things. Not my jam, man. Don't get me wrong. I like a smoothie. I can do smoothies. But anything that has that that texture, that consistency, nope.
I think they did find out that milk does not actually provide more bone density. That is a lie from Big Milk.
Big Milk?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was two things.
Dude, Big Milk is a giant situation in this country.
Yeah, there was two things. There was Big Milk and Big Grain. The World War II was a big part of that.
Yeah.
When we went through that production economy, we had to prop some things up a little bit because otherwise we would have been in dire straits.
Yeah, we just got out of being in dire straits.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? If you are thinking about leaving milk for a milk substitute, might I suggest to you the oat milk variety?
Milk?
Speaking of grain, I am anti-almond milk.
Can you milk anything with nipples?
You can't milk me.
No thanks.
I am anti-almond milk. The production of almonds is extremely wasteful of water. I mean, we already waste so much water it is. And the water that we have, we just pollute and put garbage in it and all that kind of stuff anyway. Look at Danny. He's like, take all the water.
Dozed off there for a second.
Take all the water. Take all the water.
Somebody's got to use it.
Yeah, hopefully our children and our children's children. Danny's like, I ain't got kids. I don't care. F them kids.
I mean, what we really need to do is work on that the desalination technology.
What is that?
Taking salt out of the ocean.
Oh. Would that be really bad from the ocean?
I mean, probably, but somebody else's problem.
You would counter the rising tide waters because you'd be draining the ocean?
See, like ice caps are melting. We just make sure we put it into crops.
That's like the leak on the giant jug, and you just bam slap that piece of tape on it.
Mm-hmm. Flex Seal, baby.
It works, but I don't have to do it anymore.
Have you seen that guy actually on the boat made of Flex Seal?
He made it?
Yeah, it's like a boat out of Flex Seal.
Oh. Huh.
I was like, damn. Like it has like a plastic piece on it for some buoyancy.
Right.
Otherwise, it's all reinforced and built around with Flex Seal.
Does it work?
Yeah, you just motoring across. It's got a little 2 horsepower outboard on it, just along the way.
I'm told oat milk is worse because there's a lot of chemicals in it. Dope. Thanks for that.
Yes, ruin more things for him.
You know what it is, Danny? You know why it's ruined? Because I like it.
See, yeah. So stay away from the things that I like. Good. Pick Navy. Ride with Navy.
I am going to ride with Navy.
Perfect.
Go Navy, beat Army.
Let's
Army,
do this.
Beat
Navy.
You're in the water? Boat people? I'm a boat person myself. Closing arguments brought to you by Leskin Law. Visit leskinlaw.com for more information. Leskin Law's one-day divorce mediation, peace treaties, not war plans. Duck Insider is next. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We will catch you from Baltimore on Friday, 10 a.m. your time. For Daniel Marang, that's Casey Smith. I'm Patrick Harris. Go do something I would do.
Bye.